and all the trending stories live on our mobile app and across all socials from Monday to Friday 7 a.m. to 10 a.m.
With me, Pakwesi Omare,
Regina Bliss,
Deborah Adoso,
and I am Esinal Fiagbedu. This is Ghana Talks Breakfast Show.
This is Ghana Talks Breakfast Show, your morning companion. This is Ghana Talks Breakfast Show, your morning companion.
Ghana Talks Radio, #1.
This is Ghana Talks Breakfast Show, your morning companion.
Good morning to you, lovely listeners of Ghana Talks Radio. This is the Ghana Talks Breakfast Show right here on Ghana Talks Radio. This is the news review, and right here we bring you all the relevant stories for making waves in the news. I am your host, Ruth Esenam Fiagbedu, and I'll be serving you breakfast this morning with Miss Regina Bless and Miss Tapia Doso. Remember that you are streaming live on Facebook at Ghana Talks Radio, on YouTube at Ghana Talks Radio, and also on X at Ghana Talks Radio. Do all to log on, send in your comments. Let's get interactive right here on the morning show. Good morning to you, ladies, and you are welcome to the Ghana Talks Breakfast Show.
Good morning.
How are you doing?
We are good by grace.
Miss Debbie?
The grace is sufficient.
Yeah, we thank God we are all here safely. Some people are finding it's a struggle to get to work because of the rains this dawn. And we are pleading with all bosses that they should, pardon their employees. It's not their fault. Nature is doing its work.
Nature is not doing anything. It's the fault of the leaders. They should do their work.
Yeah, Simo. But at this juncture, I think they will have to.
People are sitting in Aboboya to go to work because there is no vehicle.
Oh, it's very sad. Aboboya.
Someone in suit sitting in Aboboya because there is no vehicle.
But even if you go and explain yourself to your boss, he will still give you query. He will not understand. Some bosses are considerate, some bosses are not considerate. But looking at from May to June, July there, when it rains, at least, if the worker is supposed to report to work by 8 o'clock, extend it to maybe somewhere 8:30 or 9 o'clock. The worker will still be productive. Right, let's proceed. Supreme Court dismisses Imani suit on appointment of security chiefs. The Supreme Court of Ghana has dismissed a lawsuit filed by Imani Africa challenging the president's authority to appoint and remove heads of the country's security agencies. Delivering the judgments, Justice Gabriel Pagma, who chaired the panel, said the courts found no merit in the case and dismissed all the relief sought by the plaintiffs. The suit was filed in 2024 by Imani Africa and security analyst Kwesi Aning. The plaintiff had argued that the president should not have unrestricted powers to remove or terminate the appointment of heads of certain security institutions. In its ruling, the court distinguished between different security officers. The court held that the positions of the Inspector General of Police and the Director General of Prisons do not fall under Article 191 of the Constitution, which provides protections for certain public office holders. The court also ruled that the appointment of the Chief Fire Officer and the Controller General of the Ghana Immigration Service are governed by law and remain within the President's constitutional authority as head of the executive branch and overseer of the country's security architecture. The ruling effectively affirmed the President's power to appoint and remove key security chiefs, subject to the relevant constitutional and statutory provisions. The decision is expected to influence future debates about executive authorities, security sector governance, and constitutional interpretation in Ghana. Why the case matter? This clarifies the president's power over security agency leadership. It provides guidance on the interpretation of Article 191 of the Constitution. It defines the legal status of various security service heads. It reinforces the Supreme Court's role in constitutional interpretation and also will shape the future legal challenges involving public office appointments. So, Imani Africa lost the case, and this case was filed way back in 2024, where it says that the powers of the president to appoint and remove heads of state should be removed. Mr. B.
Yes, so I remember they filed this basically because they realized that the executive is having too much power. And so when it happened like that, it looks as if there is an interference when it has to do with certain institutions having the full time to execute their mandate. But you see, if you listen to what is being stated in the article, they state that, I don't know if I get it right, they say that the president does not have the sole right.
So Imani Africa challenged the authority of the president to appoint and remove heads of the country's security agencies, where he cited the Inspector General of Police, the Director General of Prisons, the Chief Officer, and the Controller General of Ghana Immigration Service. Yeah.
Yes, I guess it, but there is one aspect I'm looking for,
which is,
because yesterday when I came across the video where I think the lawyer that was speaking on behalf of Imani Africa made a statement that I'm trying to recollect, but as a mania. So yes, as I said, they've realized that the executive, which has to do with the president and his cabinet, has more power when it has to do with appointing people. But when we take the security aspect, for instance, we see that firm or institution as a very sensitive institution that should not be intruded by the affairs of other arms of government. So, I mean, they were doing that because we want this sectors to get people who are not being biased, people who are not appointed like politically. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
People are not being appointed politically to handle such a sensitive office.
Institutions.
And so that is why they took that move. But unfortunately, it didn't go their way.
It was dismissed.
Yes, it was dismissed, which should tell you that there is no way you can what's the name, sue the government and still win.
And still win.
It's not possible.
Does that mean that the Supreme Court is being biased? Even if there's something substantive they can
The
argue on.
Supreme Court has always been biased. This is not the first time. Don't give me that look. You know it. This is not the first time.
I won't be able to prove it. That's why I'm looking at you.
This is not the first time. There is no way you send a case to court against a government who is in power, and then you think you win, forgetting that all those people that are working on that issue are being appointed by this same government. That's why you don't even need a prophet to tell you. There will definitely be a call from somewhere, a call from above. You will not win. But we all know that if this case should be fairly treated, there would have been a fair result at the end of the day. So for me, personally, I feel like the court, in a way, biased.
Miss Gina? But do you see that power should be taken from the president, and now he should be the one to appoint and also remove?
Okay, so when I think their claim is based on national security officers, and when we are looking at our security, it needs an intellectual, someone who is wise to appoint these people, because our nation is at risk if an intelligent person does not elect or appoint these national security officers. So just imagine, say, oh, maybe Boko Haram Faba, so they want to safeguard Ghana, and President John Dramani Mahama doesn't do his checks well and just appoints them. He's putting Ghana at risk because these people are not legit. And at the same time, if he does his work well, Ghana would be safe. So aside President John Dramani Mahama or aside any incoming president, which other office should we give that authority to appoint national securities aside the office of the president? So I think he's the right person to appoint these people. And looking at the issue of interference, I think from taking a bit of what Ms. Debbie said, saying that there's no way you can win a case against a government, in a way that is where probably certain misconceptions will come in, because automatically they are the ones in power and you want to battle with them. And I also believe that if the Supreme Court is fair enough and is not being influenced by any third party, regardless of who appointed him or her, I think they need to do their job fairly and make sure that no one is being influenced. So if it is A, give it to the person that is A. Don't be influenced. Yeah.
Don't be influenced. So if the president doesn't have the authority to appoint these security personnel, who then will? That is the question. Youth unemployment rising despite economic stability. The ranking member on Parliament's Economy and Development Committee, Kojo Oppong-Nkrumah, has expressed concern over rising youth unemployment in Ghana despite signs of economic stability. Does that mean that he has accepted that we are stable economically? Speaking on the floor in Parliament, he cited figures indicating that youth unemployment increased from 32% in December 2024 to 32.5% in the third quarter of 2025. According to him, the situation is particularly worrying in the Greater Accra region, where youth unemployment is reported to be 49.3%. Mr. Oppong-Nkrumah noted that this means nearly 1 in every 2 young people in the region may be without a job. He made this comment whilst responding to a statement by the Finance Minister, Kesa Latoforsen, on the state of the economy. The MP argued that although there may be improvement in some economic indicators, the benefits are not yet translating into sufficient employment opportunities for young people. According to him, the figures suggest that existing interventions and job creation programs have not adequately addressed the unemployment challenge. He therefore called for urgent and targeted policies aimed at creating jobs, especially for youth, who make up a significant portion of Ghana's population. Youth unemployment remains one of the country's major socio-economic concerns, with experts often linking it to issues such as skills gap, limited industrial growth, and insufficient private sector job creation. So youth unemployment has risen from 32.5% to 49.3%. That is a bit worrying. How should the government actually respond to this case? Because you've seen the government bringing in policies, Akoko Nkete Jumera program, the 1 million coders, and the others. But it looks like still the rate at which people are going unemployed is still high. Ms. Gina?
Yeah. So the economy being stabilized doesn't automatically mean the economy is creating jobs. The economy can be stabilized and the youth are still struggling to get jobs. And looking at some of the factors that cause this, population growth and more job seekers, especially looking at our universities, our colleges of these days, every year more and more people are graduating from school. Nursing, teaching, what have you, a lot of people are still graduating from jobs, and it is not like the entrepreneur sector that or vocational sector that automatically when you graduate you are already self-employed. The only thing you need is a little bit of capital to start up. When we take sewing, for instance, people who are in fashion designing, there's no way you can go into fashion designing without raising an amount of money to buy the basic things you need. And home economics, they already have the utensils, they already have everything. So the moment you graduate from school, the moment you end your friend is saying whatever you went to learn, you can automatically start working. But looking at the case of nurses, teachers, doctors, the skills is there, but I can't, your friend is saying,
where to practice
it. So if the institutions are not there, where would they practice it? So day in and day out, a lot of people come out graduates. And also one important thing is, I think it was stated in skills mismatch. These days, for a manager to employ an unexperienced person is very rare. Obeshwe omo letter omo say 2 years experience, 5 years experience. Sometimes someone can go beyond 10 years experience. If you don't give the person that opportunity, how do they get that experience? Nursing, no, we are out of here. Obeko private sector, so page on beka some 1 year, 2 years, 3 years experience. Unibi. The only experience you have is this clinicals they go through. That is the same as your friend is saying internship with attachment to say clinicals. It's the same thing. And also the private sectors, I would say the private sectors are employing people, but not to the requirements that we need, especially when it comes to the youth sector. The youth are a lot, and the private sectors can't employ that much amount of youth. So what is the government doing about it? The economy might be stabilized and inflation might be low, but still these youth are still seeking for jobs. It will shock you that another recruitment, a bunch of people will still go there that they want to indulge themselves in that exercise because they are still home. And looking at the case of some people who are already in the working sector but still want to do something they want, most of the people working are not working because it's their passion. Most of them are working because otifie onyeshe. At least let me find something doing. At the end of the month, I will get something small to cater for myself. But that is not a real passion. So for the government, they have a long way to go when it comes to unemployment issues. As you said, they've brought a lot of initiatives. The Nkoko Nkete. Maybe Nkoko Nkete project nipa no person obe venture into agriculture. On person obe venture into poultry. Oni nimde bia fa Nkoko nyen ho. 1 million coders too. The person doesn't even have that knowledge to, how would I say it, to learn because when it comes to computing, it's very difficult. You have to be sound-minded to learn that thing. And one thing, you don't have to wait on the government before you get something to eat. You don't have to wait for the government to give you your friends and government salary. Create something for yourself. This is why a lot of people are sacking other Africans from their country, because they don't want to create something for themselves. Another new person would come in and get that idea and create something, and you'll be like, I do nanka which me, but I drain in you. Humans don't want to sit down and be innovative. They don't want to sit down and think deep. Success is not only about going to work at the end of the month. Salary has been given to you at the end of the month. Before the salary comes, it is finished. As we are sitting here, our money is finished. Because
for June.
Yeah, June 4th. June 4th, the money is finished. But if you are doing something for yourself, day in and day out, you are getting money each and every day. That's why I always envy those who sew. those who braid, and those who do something with their hands. Because in a day, either 1 or 2 persons will come to you that I want to do this. Sometimes if I want to sew, aside the machine the person has invested in other things, me de mento ma bro, tenase. I thought they do 30 minutes now I pam. Or pam me now I do 200, 300. So just imagine 5 people comes. That is a huge sum of money. So don't wait on the government say, oh, change now, the government should create a job for me. If you do that, you slack behind.
Well, I don't know if you are following this trend between one doctor and one NSF.
Exactly. And I'm very disappointed in that doctor.
And trying to undermine entrepreneurs.
Rich lab.
Yeah. So.
The doctor is not intelligent.
Yeah. And as I now, you have given that girl free publicity. People are even booking her.
Yes. I saw one tweet. I don't know how true it is, from a very rich man. I saw a bagger now booking you for the
50th birthday.
Yes. I saw on him say OG 2,000, 3,000, but Obama is generous amounts.
She will make it big time.
You get it.
She will make it. I think, you see, sometimes we speak on issues because we want to tarnish the image of people and then gain fame ourselves. But sometimes you end up tarnishing your own image and then pushing the person to the limelight. The doctor said that because when Rachel was in school, there was this blogger who went there to ask her about the significance of National Science and Math quiz, and she gave her opinion.
And her opinion is perfect.
It does not validate that you are in the best school.
So some people just pick some content of what she said and they were bashing her online. And this issue was dead and gone. And all of a sudden, this doctor brought it back.
It was when the other girl graduated. And after graduating, she's now going to find job.
Yes.
But this one, she's already working.
And she's even schooling on top.
Yes. You see, sometimes we need to fix our legs in the shoes of people. It's not easy to be in school and still be working. I'm telling you, it's not. Especially when you reach level 400, when you have to write your project and you don't get a sensible lecturer. Some of the lecturers, this thing is not correct. So you are supervisors. You are working and then you are combining what you do out there to your studies. And you are studying about, say, every semester, and the courses you study. So sometimes it can be 7, it can be 6, and you have to keep all the 6 or 7 in mind, and still have to empower that together with what you do outside. It's not easy. So I feel like such people should be motivated and encouraged to do more. And this girl wouldn't go chasing after men to earn her money. She's already earning her money, and this will even earn her a respect. Because you can't come to her and come and tell her whatever you want. What she's doing, the photography she finds herself, is even putting her in the limelight than what she's studying at school. Unless she's studying computer science or something in school. So it's not as if photography is a bad work, or when you find yourself in photography, it means you're unintelligent. Back to what we are discussing now. Unemployment is a big issue, and it's a headache. You see, but I don't know who is saying the truth. I don't know whether MPP Kojo Ponkroma is just doing that because he wants to buttress this whole issue with politics or whatever. Because Ghana Statistical Service dropped a survey, and then they said 13.7%. Overall unemployment dropped from 13.7% in the third quarter of 2024. That was when the MPP was in power, to 12.8% in the third quarter of 2025 with the current administration. So there's been a reduction from, say, 13.3 million out of 15 million labor. So right now, I don't know who is saying the truth. And
I also did this. I found
you get it.
I found a different.
I don't know whether he's just putting something across because he wants it to look as if the government is not trying its possible best. Now let's take a look from a different perspective. The current administration says they are doing their best. It might not be enough, but then at least I feel like they are putting things out there, and people who want to grab the opportunity are grabbing it. 1 million coders, whatever. We have a lot of people who are into that. A lot of youth. Even people who are working, still registered for this 1 million coders program I'm talking about. So if you are a youth and you don't push yourself to grab this opportunity, the opportunity will not come to you in a room or wherever. There is a saying that even in difficulties, you still find opportunity within that difficulty. So you have to have that eagle eye to see that opportunity. So with unemployment, it's a very vast issue. The government is trying their possible best, in as much as their possible best is not enough, but they are doing it. They are bringing in investors here. These investors are creating opportunity for people. And as I said, people want to grab it, are grabbing it. You are talking about unemployment. I'm not trying to intertwine this whole issue, but imagine when your government came into power, they did their possible best, did like 90% of it. And this administration also came on board and they are doing like 50% or 90% of it. Are we not moving forward? If you were able to complete that one district, one factory, you're able to complete all the agenda 111 project on board, it's employing more nurses. It's war. And these factories will also employ people from their localities. And you see, he stated that the pressure is on Accra. Why wouldn't the pressure be on Accra? Because everybody thought Accra is what's the name? It's full of milk and honey where you can be rich overnight. But it's not like that. Coming here is a whole lot of struggle. I always tell people that if you come to Accra and you survive, it means you are genius, because staying here is not that easy like that. Especially if you're staying here and you are staying with maybe a relative or something, it's kind of different. But if you're staying here, you are renting on your own, you're paying your bills, you're paying all that, it has to do with a whole lot. So staying in Accra is not for the weak. And Accra is not for the weak. You can still be in your region, you can still be in your locality and still make it. And that is where I have a problem with our system and with our government, because you need to create jobs in these regions. Why do we create regions? We create regions because we want that region to also develop. But as it stands now, Accra is holding all these regions. Accra is the pillar holding the rest of the 15 regions. Because even if somebody completes from wherever he or she is, they will come here for school. If you're talking about big schools, it is situated in Accra or Kumasi. So Accra is the foundation holding the rest of the 15 regions. So if Accra becomes so weak, it means if Accra is collapsing today, all the other regions are also collapsing. And that is why we need to develop all these regions. Unemployment there is very, very vast. And trust me, it's not going to decrease. We are coming to see worse of what we are seeing now, because people are giving birth. Our population is increasing. And so if the right measures are not being put in place, we are going to experience worse things than what we are seeing now with regards to unemployment. So for me, the only thing I'll tell the youth out there is get something doing. Okay, find something for yourself. Aside you having the notion of you becoming very big, you becoming a doctor, becoming a journalist, becoming whatever you want to be, also have a side hustle, a side business. It's not about you getting 10 billion to start a business. No matter how small that money is, you can still start something small. And if you are serious in saving, it will grow into something big. And I feel like it's about time they go to schools and educate people on that. Entrepreneurship is being taught level 100, regardless of whatever course you are doing. They teach you entrepreneurship because they know that when you go to the job market, the job is not ready, seeking for people to come. You are going to seek for the job. It's not like other countries where the job is there and they're not even getting people to work. And so I think the government is doing their best, sincerely speaking, because if you see President Mahama going to other countries, most especially when it has to do with the health sector, I think yesterday I also come across a video where President Mahama signed an agreement with some countries, I've forgotten their names, where they'll be sending about 90% of our health workers there to work. So in a way they are doing it, but then I feel like we should also create more jobs. As I said, and I will continue saying it, the president or the government have no reason to tell us that they cannot create the jobs because it is their responsibility. But how for do? This is where we find ourselves, and you need to survive. So you need to do something for yourself.
It's the government's responsibility. It is your responsibility as well to also find a job for yourself. Thank you so much for joining us on the news review. Up next, we have Today in History with Miss Regina Blaise.
Bringing you today in history on this day, 1979, the June 4th uprising in Ghana. The June 4th uprising was a 1979 military coup in Ghana led by Lieutenant Jerry John Rawlings, sparked by widespread corruption, economic hardship, and systemic inequalities. It was driven by lower-ranking soldiers who overthrew the Supreme Military Council and established the Armed Forces Revolutionary Council. 1986. Release of Nelson Mandela's first legal photo. The first legal photograph of Nelson Mandela in the Weekly Mail under apartheid law. It had been illegal to publish or distribute images of Mandela since 1964. The newly released photo was legally cleared because it was taken by the Department of Prisons prior to his 1964 imprisonment. To some few global observances, International Day of Innocent Children Victims of Aggression, acknowledging the pain suffered by children globally who are victims of physical, mental, and emotional abuse. It serves as a stark reminder of the devastating impact of war and armed conflict on the most vulnerable members of society. Audacity to Hope Day. It honors the human spirit and the courage to remain optimistic even in the face of uncertainty. It draws its name from Barack Obama's famous 2004 convention speech and his best-selling book, The Audacity of Hope. Lastly, National Safe Day. Promotes firearm safety and prevents accidental shootings. The observance focuses on an easy-to-remember acronym aimed at protecting children and unauthorized individuals from accessing firearms. And that's all for today on Today in History and some global observances live on GhanaTalks Breakfast Show.
Thank you so much, Miss Regina Blaise, for Today in History and some global observances of the day. Up next, we have Debbie's Grill.
Welcome to Debbie's Grill, where we talk about issues that concern the state, void of politics, fear of favor. While the Komfanoche Teaching Hospital, the only referral facility in the Ashanti region, is struggling with space amidst congestion at its accident and emergency unit, the 500-bed Afari Military Hospital is overgrown with weeds. Installed medical equipment are also gathering dust as the project, which has missed several completion deadlines, has been abandoned and neglected. Major parts of the hospital are deteriorating, with ceiling and paint peeling off. The 500-bed Afari Military Hospital, constructed by Eurojet Group on Afari land, was designed to be a state-of-the-art health facility comprising 50 medical and non-medical buildings connected by landscape areas and covered walkways. It features 15 operating theaters, 2 endoscopy suites and 9 living rooms, a central kitchen and laundry, a mortuary with 153 body capacity, laboratory services, a sterilization department, and medical gas production plant. To support operations, the hospital also includes a training center with library and conference rooms, staff housing, a maintenance department, storage facilities, a power station with transformers and standby generators, a sewage biogas plant, a water treatment facility, and a medical waste treatment unit. For the convenience and safety, it was designed to provide parking for 600 vehicles and 18 buses, an integrated hospital information system, and internal and external CCTV surveillance. So the Afari Military Hospital, which was built in the Ashanti region, was to ease the burden on Komfo Anokye Teaching Hospital. And when you come to Accra, it has to do with Kolebu and other hospitals. But then when you get to Kumasi, it has to do with Komfo Anokye Teaching Hospital. And so the pressure on the hospital was becoming too much. So, we thought it wise to build a modernized hospital, 500 bed capacity. This is not small. 500 bed capacity hospital. And then this hospital, unfortunately, has been left to rot in the bush. No one cares. We don't even care about the money that was used in starting the project. No one cares. Government comes and they leave. And recently, there's been a closure on the emergency unit of Komfo Anokye. But yesterday, there was a release that there's been a space. There's been a reduction on the number of patients who were admitted in emergency unit, and so it has been open. But I'm not sure it will be that long. It will be for a while. So why don't we just complete this hospital? So that to ease tension on Komfo Anokye Teaching Hospital. I think this shouldn't be something that we should be talking about. We know the right thing to do. This will help us. So why are we not doing it? If there have to be issues with maybe procurement of the equipment that was used in the hospital, everything that has to do with this whole project of this hospital, and there's maybe embezzlement, because most often as projects are being rejected, if a government starts a project and another government comes on board, the main reason why they don't complete those projects is because they often say that particular project was being marred by embezzlement and a whole lot of issues. And so those issues or those challenges will need to be resolved, because before the next government can continue. And when it happens like that, it delays the process. We are talking about human lives here. They depend on the hospital for survival. And so why don't we just complete this hospital? The hospital was near completion. If you look into the hospital itself, they've even provide some equipment and logistics to help in running the smooth running of the hospital. And the hospital has been left to rot. No one is talking about it. This is not the first project. We have a lot of buildings that belongs to government in terms of school buildings. We have the Saglami housing project also left to rot. We have a lot of them. And these are state money. This is my money. This is your money. We are the same people that are complaining that our hospitals are choked. If our hospitals are choked and we have hospitals that are rotting in the bush, why don't we just concentrate on that hospital, finish whatever is supposed to done, and then commission this hospital for people to use? I'm sure if this hospital wouldn't benefit the people, it would not be built at the first place. But because the hospital was meant to save lives, the hospital was meant to serve the people in that community, in that region. And that is why it was being projected out there. So why are we not saying anything about it? And then we kept on wasting public money. We are wasting state money, state funds. That is what we are doing. We are just wasting it. A government will come start a project, they are not able to complete it. Another government comes on board and it ends there. We don't do anything about it. We don't care. And then the citizens, we suffer the most because we will be burdened with taxes. And then we keep paying the taxes and we don't even see the result of the taxes we pay. We don't see it. And so it makes it so difficult for we to even pay our taxes. And that is why when there is a new introduction of taxes, we complain. Some citizens even go the extra mile of protesting because they don't see the benefit of the taxes they are paying. Imagine we see the benefit of the taxes we pay. There is nothing like abandonment of projects. Trust me, we would rather be calling on the government to increase our tax because we are benefiting from what we are doing. But in a case where we don't see anything, it makes it so difficult. It makes it so difficult. Sometimes I think that I sit and I wonder the kind of clay God used in creating blacks. Like it kind of baffles me sometimes. Tell me why you will start a project. And money has been allocated for that project. The project commences. They are done with everything. And then sometimes just to commission it. And then the government leaves power. Another government that comes on board, they don't want to complete it. You see, it is sad, it is hurting, and it passes one message across that they don't really care about the ordinary Ghanaians. They don't. Now, I will say that if you are a government and you come on board and you are bringing a project or something, there shouldn't be an instance where you will not complete that project. That is another thing. That is another issue. Why will you start a project and you will not complete it? And that is one problem of every politician. They bring out initiatives, they bring out policies they cannot complete. They cannot even fulfill. And even if they fulfill it, they don't even end whatever they start with. It ends there. But my problem is, when that initiative was brought out, was being birthed, you accepted it. You sat down, planned, and realized that no, we will need about 50 million to complete this project. We need about 100 million to complete this project. So if the money is being, if you've gotten the money, why should there be an instance where the project is still not completed? Is it that you didn't plan well? Or maybe whoever was being asked to plan and draft this whole project didn't present the right info or didn't draft it well. Like sometimes we need explanation of all these things. Because I don't understand why they will bet a project, money will be allocated to that project, and the project is still not completed. And we have instances where contractors, people who are being handed this project to complain that they are not even being paid. Now that being put aside, the project is complete. Like they are done completing a whole hospital. And no one is talking about it. This Afari military hospital, if we should pay attention to that hospital, if that hospital, everything about that hospital should be completed today, I'm telling you the truth, the burden of Konfo Teaching Hospital will be reduced. It will be reduced. Let's just do the right thing. If you do the right thing, don't want to come and sit here and be saying things. We wouldn't bash anybody. But when you don't do the right things, we will say it, because that is what we are supposed to do. We are supposed to act as watchdogs, as monitors. We monitor you and ensure that whatever you promise, you fulfill it. We wouldn't sit here to talk if it is not our money, but it's our money. That hospital will save lives. And looking at the scope of nature, you cannot just see that we don't control nature. So from now, what will happen in the next minute, you can't even tell. So you cannot just stop people, drivers from driving recklessly. You cannot sit down and then stop accidents from occurring, because no matter the measure you put in place, there will be some drivers that will still drive recklessly. No matter the sensitization, there will still be some drivers that will drive recklessly on our roads. And so there will definitely be accidents. And so we cannot control it, because that is nature. And if that is nature, what do? That is why we have the hospitals. So that if these cases or this incident happen or occur, they are being, conveyed to a facility that takes care of them until they are fine. But if we have the power to control nature and what happens within it, then we might say that there is no need. But we don't have that power to control nature. And so you cannot even tell, you cannot sit down and then be controlling the number of accidents that should happen in a day, the number of accidents that should happen in Accra, the number of accidents that should happen in Ashanti region. You don't control that. You don't control that. And serious cases are being pushed to the emergency ward or emergency unit. So if the emergency unit is full, where should they take these people? You might even end up losing your life, because they take you to the emergency unit and then you are being treated there before you will be, sent to other wards for treatment. So if the emergency unit is full and then Comfort Natural Hospital needs to suspend their operation in the emergency unit, then it's serious. And we need to take action. We need to do something. That hospital should not be allowed to rot. It has rotten for enough. Maybe I'll produce there. Let's do something about it. That has been a bad record. Because of that, they also have that notion they will come into power, start something, and intentionally, for me, I say it to be intentional. Then they're expecting the next government who will come on board to complete it. And if the government is not doing anything, then those same people who came into power and refused doing the right thing, will now sit down and be bashing the current administration or whoever is on board, that they are refusing to complete project that was being started by them. This is wickedness. Thank you for making time with me on Debbie's Grill.
Thank you so much, Miss Debbie, for that, girl. And thank you, too, for joining us on the first segment of the GhanaTalks Breakfast Show. We'll go for the news shortly, and right after the news, we'll be back. Please stick and stay with us.
Are you ready to amplify your business or brand's reach and make a meaningful impact in Ghana and beyond? Partner with GhanaTalks Radio today to connect with a diverse audience across Ghana and beyond. Elevate your brand through on-air promotions and social media. Boost your brand during prime time. With GhanaTalks Radio, you can extend your reach across digital platforms. GhanaTalks Radio is not just a station, it is a community hub where your brand becomes part of the conversation. Join us in fostering connections, celebrating culture, and making a lasting impression. For customized sponsorship packages and enquiries, email contact@GhanaTalksRadio.com or call +233 202 544614. GhanaTalks Radio, giving the youth a voice.
What do you want for breakfast? How do you want your breakfast?
English breakfast, French fries.
Koko Nikosi, alo komi kesheto.
Wache.
Well, Gobe is the real deal.
Join us on GhanaTalks Radio. Let's serve you a buffet of breakfast.
From news headlines review, current affairs to social issues.
Entertainment, sports, and all the trending stories live on our mobile app and across all socials from Monday to Friday, 7 a.m. to 10 a.m.
With me, Pakwesi Omare,
Regina Bless,
Deborah Adoso,
and I am Esinal Fiagbedu. This is GhanaTalks Breakfast Show.
We bring you local news, business news, international, sports, and entertainment news. Right here on GTR.
Hello, good morning, and welcome to the morning news update on GhanaTalks Radio. Coming up this morning, Speaker of Parliament criticized aid conditionality, saying tying foreign aid to law changes violate United Nations Charter. In related news, Nicholas Duncan Williams is optimistic Africa will develop to retain its talent and citizens. Confanoche Teaching Hospital resumes emergency admissions as A&E bed pressure eases after temporary shutdown. Also in the news, Tetegu flood waters recedes as Wager Dam spillage slows while residents blame poor dredging for annual disaster. In business, rent, food and school fees drive inflation for May 2026. We've got details on these stories and many others coming up shortly. Speaker of Parliament Alban Bagbin has cautioned against conditioning foreign aid on amendment to domestic laws, noting such practice breaches the United Nations Charter and undermines a country's independence. Addressing delegates at the 4th Interparliamentary Conference on Family, Sovereignty and Values in Accra, the Speaker said development partners must respect the right of African nations to make laws that reflect their culture, values and constitutional processes. According to him, parliaments across Africa have a duty to protect family systems and cultural values rooted in their societies. The Speaker of Parliament also called on foreign partners to adopt a respect-based approach in aiding diplomacy, one that prioritizes dialogue over conditionality.
I want to emphasize this matter. People trying to make so many things contingent upon the adoption of legal and cultural paradigms alien to our social cultural fabric. I want to emphasize that conditioning aid on the alteration of domestic laws to the disadvantage of beneficial countries violates the principle of sovereign equality enshrined in the United Nations Charter. We in Africa do not seek to dictate the internal legal frameworks of other continents, and we expect in turn the same respect for our sovereignty. And I want to plead with all of you to let us reject the false premises that modernization requires the erasure of our cultural identity. In trying to do so, we must avoid adopting an oversimplified or imported definition of the family. The Western concept of the nuclear family, isolated, individualistic, lonely, and strictly bounded, fails to capture the expansive, resilient, and self-sustaining genius of the African family.
In related news, founder and general overseer of Action Chapel International Ministry, Archbishop Nicholas Duncan Williams, has expressed confidence that Africa will reach a development tipping point where its citizens will no longer have to seek greener pastures abroad. Speaking at the 4th Interparliamentary Conference on Family, Sovereignty and Values in Accra, the Archbishop said the continent has all the resources and human capital needed to transform its economies and retain talent. He urged African leaders, parliamentarians and citizens to commit to sustained effort in governance, innovation and value systems that drive growth.
I have a dream that in my lifetime, Africa will be so developed by principles that works for us not by principle that works for others, but by principle that works for us as we look at our culture and as individual sovereign countries, that no son and no daughter of the continent of Africa will queue for visas to go to any other nations for greener pastures. But our sons and our daughters will work and labor in our own land and our countries and achieve their dreams and goals, fulfill their desires and destiny, succeed and prosper within their own countries and their own borders.
Delivering an address on behalf of President John Dramani Mahama at the 4th Interparliamentary Conference, Chief of Staff Julius Debra stressed the need to build resilient economies that can sustain and protect social systems and national values.
A sovereign nation must be capable of feeding its people, educating its children, protecting its vulnerable, creating opportunities for its youth, and finance its own development priorities. Across Africa, our citizens do not judge sovereignty by the speeches we make. They judge it by whether the lights stay on, whether jobs are available, whether schools educate, whether hospitals heal, and whether government keeps their promises. The ultimate expression of sovereignty is the capacity of a nation to solve the problems of its people. That is why discussions about cultural sovereignty must be accompanied by discussions about economic sovereignty. We must build economies capable of supporting the social systems we seek to protect. We must strengthen domestic production, support African enterprises, expand regional trade, and create pathways to prosperity that are anchored in our own priorities and realities.
Emergency admissions are back on at Komfanoche Teaching Hospital. After the accident, an emergency center was forced to pause new cases due to severe overcrowding. The center was overwhelmed by a surge in patient numbers, leaving limited bed space and stretching staff capacity. The temporary suspension was meant to allow the hospital stabilize care for patients already on admission. Acting Medical Director Dr. Yaolabi confirmed the availability of bed has improved slightly to reopen the unit to emergency cases. The development comes as a relief to residents of Kumasi and surrounding areas who rely on Komfanoche Teaching Hospital as the main referral center for critical cases in the Middle Belt. Hospital management says it continues to work with the Ministry of Health and the Ghana Health Service to expand capacity and improve emergency response at the facility.
Soon after we issued the statement, the Director of Public Affairs issued a statement yesterday, we had a meeting, a Zoom meeting with the Regional Director of Health Services, his Deputy Director of Clinical Care, and medical superintendents of a number of the facilities who refer cases to us. I'll say Ghana Health Service facilities and a couple of private facilities. In this meeting, we made them aware of the situation here, and they are already our partners. We collaborate a lot in the care of patients. So we told them the situation, and then we made each of them present tell us about their capacity. So they told us about their capacity and the current state of their various facilities. For those who had emergency areas, they told us the number of beds that were available. Some people told us the beds available in their male and female wards. For instance, one of our facilities we work with, Hope Exchange, mentioned that their male ward was full because over the period, because we were having a lot of congestion here, a number of patients were also getting to their end. And they, as of yesterday evening, they had only 3 beds in their female ward. So if we had patients who were females and didn't require surgery or ICU, they could take. And Similar information was given to us from the medical superintendents of other facilities. So they were prepared to hold patients who were in their facilities waiting to be referred, to keep them for a while and manage them together with us, because we can do management on the phones with them. When they describe and send us some parameters, we can intervene. Others too were also prepared to receive referrals from other facilities, and they described the kind of beds that they had. One facility even said that they had ventilators and they had beds. The only challenge they had was that they didn't have the requisite personnel, I'll say the personnel with the requisite skills to manage those units in their facilities. So if we could spare people, then the places were available for management of patients. So after that meeting, what we've done is that we are now accepting patients because we are gradually working on the patients, the almost 40 patients backlog that we had. And I have been through some of the wards this morning. The bed stage has only improved slightly. I must tell you that the entire D block, when I did my rounds this morning, had only 5 beds available. However, there are other wards that I haven't been to. Yeah, so
water levels in flooded areas of Tetegu have dropped, easing hardship for residents and bringing daily life closer to normal. Management of the Wager Dam confirmed spillage operations are still in progress, but at a minimal level. The reduced outflow has allowed the community to recover after days of displacement and property damage. Despite the improved situation, residents says the relief is only temporal, attributing the perennial flooding in Tetegu to the annual spillage from the Wager Dam and the lack of dredging activities. The residents are calling on the Ghana Water Authority and government agencies to prioritize regular dredging and find long-term solutions to prevent the cycle from repeating every rainy season.
Everything is normal now. Business is ongoing. Movement is also ongoing. We are okay here. You would notice that after the estuary was open, just a day or two, the whole water just went back. You see, nobody is experiencing those things anymore. So our main cause is the dredging and then the estuary.
If you say, you estuary, you see, the flood in our film. Yet, you make a new master to send a first etienne. Near Yempany for an hour, yes, a bang. Dredging or why is a ban, oh, yeah. And yes, be uncrophone, Nancy dying war, in so nano, and I blocking sono, and yes, I let here. But, baby, water company for no ebue so now. Baby, fan. Gata na was sanka, and so nefemu, I was a timu.
Estuary is there because of the whole thing. So you could see how the community is now. After the estuary was open, the whole water has just gone into the sea. So the estuary is the cause of the whole thing, and we need the estuary to be open permanently. We can have an example of what they have done at the Koli. You see that. So we want the same thing to be done for us over here at Chokome, so that it will prevent this kind of flooding issues.
We demarcated the area very well, and this is not waterlogged area. It can rain for 6 days continuously. There will not be any flooding in the area. But then the only problem we have is whenever they open the dam without informing the community and making sure that the estuary is open, that is the problem we do have. For 13 years that I've been here, it is only 2 occasions that we have this major problem. You see, about 3 to 4 years ago and this year. All is because we were not informed that the dam will be opened. and then the estuary is not well taken up. That is the main reason why the flood is worrying us. But Tetegu is not a place that is waterlogged.
In business, Ghana's inflation dynamics in May were largely shaped by food prices, locally produced goods, and uneven regional price development. According to the government statistician Dr. Al-Hassan Idrisu, addressing journalists on June 3rd, he explained that locally produced items accounted for about 92% of total inflation, underscoring the dominance of domestic supply conditions in shaping price movement. Food inflation rose to 3.3%, driven by a 2% month-on-month increase in food prices, making it the most significant contributor to headline inflation. At the same time, non-food inflation remained relatively subdued at 4.1%, compared with 4.2% in April. Dr. Idrisu noted that services such as housing, rent, and education continue to rise faster than goods, adding pressure to households' budget. Rent payments contributed 11.8%, fresh tomatoes 11.4%, secondary school fees 9.3%, and green plantain 9.3%, highlighting the key components shaping inflation. The statistical breakdown also revealed significant disparities across regions, with some areas recording double-digit inflation while others experienced price decline. He emphasized that transport costs provided a moderating effect on overall inflation, helping to offset sharper increases in food prices. While inflation remains relatively low by historical standards, policymakers must focus on food systems, local supply chains, and regional disparities to sustain stability. To sports, vice presidential aspirant in the upcoming Ghana Boxing Association elections, Ellis Quay believes he has the experience and track record to help restore Ghana's boxing to greater heights. The elections comes at a crucial period for sports following recent challenges, including the tragic death of Nigerian boxer after a bout in Ghana, an incident that sparked renewed discussions about the future and governance of boxing in Ghana. Quay explained that his long-standing involvement in sports had proven achievement made him a strong candidate for the position. According to him, his boxing journey dates back to 1995 in the United Kingdom, where he worked closely with several fighters who went on to become champions. Quay highlighted his role in developing boxers, organizing major title fights, and helping raise the profile of the sport both in the United Kingdom and later in the country. The boxing administrator acknowledged the difficult period Ghana boxing has endured in recent times, but praised the interim management committee for steering the sport towards fresh elections. He believes sports was beginning to gain momentum before recent setbacks slowed its progress. Quay also pointed to his achievements since joining forces with Comeback in 2018. According to him, those efforts contributed significantly to boxing growth in the country. Quay says the experience gained over the years places him in a strong position to contribute meaningfully to the next administration. He insists there is still enormous potential within Ghana's boxing and believes the incoming leadership can build a stronger structure that benefits fighters and promoters. As the Ghana Boxing Authority elections draw closer, Quay has positioned himself as candidate focused on experience, development, and restoring the momentum that once saw Ghana boxing regarded as one of Africa's strongest boxing nations. In showbiz, Guinness Ghana has officially renewed the Smirnoff title sponsorship of the Ghana DJ Awards for another 3 years, reaffirming its commitment to the growth and celebration of DJ culture and entertainment in the country. Organized by Mercury Republic, the Ghana DJ Awards continue to stand as Ghana's premier platform dedicated to recognizing and celebrating the contributions of DJs and music personalities shaping the country's entertainment industry. The renewed partnership marks another milestone in the successful relationship between Guinness Ghana and Mercury Republic, highlighting a shared commitment to entertainment, creativity and youth engagement. All activities under the Guinness Ghana DJ Awards will be powered by Smirnoff, bringing a fresh wave of excitement, lifestyle experience, audience engagement and unforgettable activations throughout the season. As anticipation continues to build for an extraordinary celebration of music, the 2026 edition of the Ghana DJ Awards is officially set to launch on August 1st, kickstarting a new season of activities, industry engagement and entertainment experiences. Over the years, the Ghana DJ Awards has evolved into one of Ghana's most anticipated entertainment events, serving as a major platform for discovering, celebrating and elevating DJs across multiple genres and regions. Further details regarding nominations, launch activities and official event schedules will be announced in the coming weeks. And that's it on the morning news update. Do all to log on to all streaming platforms at GhanaTalks Radio for more news stories. I will be back with subsequent news bulletin later in the afternoon. Until then, do have a good morning. I am Deborah Adoso.
Are you ready to amplify your business or brand's reach and make a meaningful impact in Ghana and beyond? Partner with GhanaTalks Radio today to connect with a diverse audience across Ghana and beyond. Elevate your brand through on-air promotions and social media. Boost your brand during prime time. With GhanaTalks Radio, you can extend your reach across digital platforms. GhanaTalks Radio is not just a station, it is a community hub where your brand becomes part of the conversation. Join us in fostering connections, celebrating culture, and making a lasting impression. For customized sponsorship packages and enquiries, email contact@GhanaTalksRadio.com or call +233 202 544614. GhanaTalks Radio, giving the youth a voice.
What do you want for breakfast? How do you want your breakfast?
English breakfast. French fries.
Koko Nikosi, alo komi kesheto.
Wache.
Well, Gobe is the real deal.
Join us on Ghana Talks Radio. Let's serve you a buffet of breakfast.
From news headlines review, current affairs to social issues.
Entertainment, sports, and all the trending stories live on our mobile app and across all socials from Monday to Friday, 7 a.m. to 10 a.m.
With me, Pakwesi Omare,
Regina Bless,
Deborah Adoso,
and I am Esinal Fiagbedu. This is Ghana Talks Breakfast Show.
Ghana Talks Radio, #1.
This is Ghana Talks Breakfast Show, your morning companion.
Good morning to you once again, and you are welcome to the Ghana Talks Breakfast Show right here on Ghana Talks Radio. This is your favorite online radio station. We are streaming live on Facebook at GhanaTalks Radio, on YouTube at GhanaTalks Radio, and also on X at GhanaTalks Radio. Do want to log on, send in your comments, and let's get interactive right here on the show. Before we get into the second segment of the show, as you know it, I come along with my ladies, and we'll be looking at some interesting and relevant news headlines. Good morning to you ladies once again, and you're welcome to the Ghana Talks Breakfast Show.
Good morning.
Right. Before we delve into the main issue for the second segment of the show, I'd like for us to look at some relevant news stories. 0.75% wallet to bank transfer levy was approved under Akufo-Addo government, Adonko. Chairman of Parliament's Finance Committee, Isaac Adonko, has accused the minority in Parliament of misleading Ghanaians over the controversial 0.75% wallet to bank transfer charge. Speaking during a debate on a statement by Finance Minister Kesalato Forsen, Mr. Adonko claimed that the charge was not introduced by the current government but was approved by the Bank of Ghana under the previous administration led by the former President Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo. According to him, documents in his possession showed that the Bank of Ghana issued a no objection letter to Mobile Money Fintech Limited and MTN on January 31st, 2024, approving several mobile money charges. Mr. Isaac stated that the approval included a 0.75% fee on transfers from mobile money wallet to bank accounts with a cap of 5 cedis, as well as 1% charge on certain cash-out transactions below 2,000 Ghana cedis. He argued that since the approval was granted in January 2024, before the current administration assumed office, claims that the Mahama government introduced a new electronic levy are inaccurate. The Boligatanga Central MP challenged the minority to retract its accusations that the government was reintroducing the e-levy through the proposed wallet-to-bank transfer charge. He further maintained that there was no basis for describing the fee as a new tax imposed by the current government. The debate follows widespread public concerns about Mobile Money Fintech Limited announced plans to implement 0.75% charge on wallet-to-bank transfer from June 1st, 2026. However, the Bank of Ghana has since directed the company to suspend implementation of the charge pending further consultations with stakeholders. The issue continues to generate political debate, with the minority insisting that Ghanaians deserve answers about how the fee was introduced, while government officials argue that the approval process predates the current administration. So this is from Mr. Isaac Adongo, who is saying that the 0.75% charge that was said to have been introduced by MTN was being approved by the former government, which was the Bawumia Nado government, and not this current administration. He's calling on the minority to retract any accusation made against them. How true is this? How are we supposed to believe it? And how is this current administration supposed to vindicate themselves? Ms. Debbie?
Yeah, so the 0.75 was first introduced by the previous administration, that's the NPP government, before the NDC came on board. Now, this NDC came on board. This 0.75 was not introduced by this government. It was introduced by MTN, right? MTN is Mahama working at MTN, or is the finance minister working at MTN? The fact that the governor of the Bank of Ghana, Dr. Johnson Asiama, suspended the 0.75 should tell you that they had no idea on what was happening on the 0.75, and so there needs to be a thorough communication between MTN, between the governor of the Bank of Ghana and even between the finance minister, because if they pass through the right channels and process, this should be even the right person to inform us should be the finance minister, not MTN. But if MTN just give his or her customers message because they want to increase their services, right? They've increased it to 0.75. Then it should tell you that there've not be proper communication between MTN and the right authorities. Because trust me, MTN is here, it's a company, but you are working in someone's land. And so before you do something, you need permit to go ahead and doing something. We are not saying you can't do whatever you want to do, but you need permits. You cannot just say you're introducing 0.75. Now with the minority, this is nothing new to me, because they always find a case out of nothing. Even issues that does not seem like it, they will get something out of it to say. So it is their nature. That is who they are. But you see, they are making it look as if it is the current administration that is imposing the 0.75. And I earlier on mentioned that President Mahama is not working at MTN. The finance minister is not working at MTN. The governor of the Bank of Ghana is not working at MTN. And the fact that a whole governor could suspend the 0.75 increment by MTN, it should tell you that they will do something about it. If they wouldn't take an action, he wouldn't do that. He would just keep quiet and allow us pay. But you have to pass through the right channels and the right procedures to implement whatever you want to implement. You can't just wake up and do whatever you want to do. The Bank of Ghana the governor of the Bank of Ghana is not saying anything, but that is what it clearly states, that there was no formal communication between these three people. Because if there were to be a formal communication, the Bank of Ghana should even be defending MTN as to why they want to increase to 0.75. And the finance minister will have to do same. And I'm sure this 0.75, someone might say it's not a case, but this should be something that should be even be deliberated on. 0.75 is 5 cedis.
Yeah, it's capped to 5 cedis.
It's 5 cedis. So just imagine you transferring about 100 million from your wallet to your bank. Just imagine the amount of money that will be deducted from the total of whatever you're sending to your bank account. So for me, what's the name? Is it Mr. Adongo?
Yeah.
What Mr. Adongo is saying, that this 0.75 of a thing was introduced by the NPP government, then it is true, because I was trying to get the what's the name? I was trying to get an info based on the 0.75 that was
that was introduced.
Yes, that was introduced by the NPP administration, and I wasn't getting what I was looking for. So for me, this NPP can do anything at all. They just want to clear their name, okay? But I feel like it's about time we stop finding cases and situations that do not even look like it, because it doesn't make sense. You might end up disgracing yourself instead.
Until date, we haven't heard anything from the minority pertaining this particular issue.
No.
Does that mean that they are guilty?
They are at fault. Exactly. That is how it looks like.
Miss Regina, your thought on this, please.
So, whether passed or signed by the past administration or this current administration, one thing I know for sure is some Ghanaians would be against it, and they wouldn't be happy to pay that kind of amount. Probably we might see it to be something that is less expensive, but little drop of water makes a mighty ocean, and it would in a way bring financial burden to the people and also to the NPP. If truly this statement or this document being presented by Mr. Adongo is correct, then I don't really know what to say to them. The best thing they can do is to come out to explain. And I believe that before it is even accepted by the Bank of Ghana, they need to make sure that they let the people know about it. It was just this month that we got to know, or was it last month that we got to know? We didn't even know that something of this sort was passed during the past administration. So whether it's signed, passed, assented to, we will not pay.
Will not pay. That means that if you don't want to pay, don't use MTN. Early campaign activities overshadowing government work. Dr. Amwako Nyama, a member of the National Democratic Congress, Councils of Elders, Dr. Christine Amakonyama has warned that premature presidential campaign activities within the party risks overshadowing the work of the government and distracting from its resetting agenda. According to her, the focus of both party members and government officials should remain on delivering on the mandate entrusted to them by Ghanaians, rather than engaging in discussions about secession. Dr. Amakonyama explained that the Council of Elders' recent caution to party members was prompted by concerns that certain activities were beginning to divert attention from the government's programs. She stressed that the warning was not targeted at an individual or any individual, but was intended to reinforce party discipline and ensure that governance remains the priority. We have been elected for a 4-year mandate. The president has a resetting agenda. We are not even 2 years yet. We are still working on resetting agenda. So I don't think this is a time for such campaigning to be going on, she said. Dr. Makonyamas noted that the council had become concerned about activities taking place well ahead of the party's established timelines for internal contests. She stated, the thing is that they started before the beginning of this year. Certain activities that people are doing gave us concerns as elders. It is not right that we have been in government for 1.5 years. The president, for example, is launching or cutting short for a project, and somebody is also on the trial doing something else. Which news are you then supposed to cover? The president cutting the sword, or some minister or some party executive doing something else? She questioned. She further pointed to the party's internal guidelines, which she said clearly spell out when campaign activities should begin. We have a timetable that is already set. If you are in government, it is 1 year before elections. If you are not in government, it is 2 years before elections. Her comments come amid growing debate within the governing NDC over reports of early maneuvering by individuals believed to be positioning themselves for the party's future presidential contest. The Council of Elders has maintained that party members should remain focused on supporting the Mahama administration's governance agenda and avoid action that could create unnecessary divisions or distractions. This is from Madam Christine, or let me say Dr. Christine Amwako Nyama. These were some of the statements she made. Ms. Regina, do you agree with her? Early campaign activities overshadowing government's work.
So I would say we've not yet got to the point where they need to campaign, especially the NPP and also the NDC. And the duty of these officials to make sure that at the end of the day, the duties or the responsibilities of each of them and also the core mandate of President John Dramani Mahama is passed lies on both the NPP and the NDC. It doesn't only lie on NDC. It is not only the duty of NDC to make sure that whatever vision John Dramani Mahama wants to pass, wants to achieve is passed. They have to come together. This is a collective responsibility. we always say that when it comes to the development of Ghana, it is not for one party, it is for everyone, all the citizens. We all have a duty to play. So looking at what Dr. Amwako said, I think is the right thing for her to say. Dr. Christine, I think that's the right thing to say. I wouldn't use NDC as an example, but when it comes to MPP, I would say their main duty is the 2028 elections.
Yeah.
And whatever that President John Dramani Mahama wants to do, these people are in a way interjecting. So they need to come together, support his dreams, and make sure that all his aims come to pass.
Miss Debbie.
Yes, I like the fact that she said premature presidential campaign. So which means that the time you are doing the right thing at the wrong time.
At the wrong time.
The time is not due. We have time for doing everything. You can be doing the right thing at the wrong time and you still get a negative result. The most important thing is you did the right thing at the right time and then everything falls in its right places. So here is a party, here is a president struggling and doing everything possible to fulfill his promise, just as he told Ghanaians. And there is another group of people who are also trying to sell themselves out. So she made mention, if a president is cutting a sword and then you, a party member, you're also going around selling yourself, thank you to whatever it is, which one should we cover? Should we cover that of the president cutting the sword, or we should focus on you going around telling people that you are fit for job? No. Whatever the president is doing is a laid down legacy, and it's a laid down foundation for you to build on. So allow the president execute his mandate, fulfill his promise, back him, and then make his promise materialize. And then at the right time, you climb on the same foundation that was being laid down by the president. But when you don't do that, do you think people are going to vote for you just because you are known in the party? Do you think people are going to vote for you because you are outspoken in the party? Do you think people are going to vote for you because you are the most intelligent in the party? No. They are going to vote for you based on the legacy of the party, based on the integrity of the party, based on the competence of the party. So they are not looking at you as a sole body representing the party, but they are looking at the party as a whole body, as a whole institution on its own. So nobody is going to vote for you because you are intelligent. Nobody is going to vote for you because you are outspoken. Nobody is going to vote for you because your grandfather was in the party, your father took over, and then you are inheriting from your dad. No. They are going to vote for you based on the promises of President John Dramani Mahama. So if President Mahama is not able to fulfill his promise, you are doomed. The MPP will now have a chance, a bigger chance to come back. I'm telling you the fact. You see, sometimes we joke with things. We joke with a lot of things, and we don't see its implications till it happens. So when you don't play your cards well, you might feel like, well, you are in power. Ghanaians have you at heart. When you don't do the right thing, when they get to the ballot paper, the ballot box, you are not a ghost. You are neither a spirit. You don't follow them to the ballot box where they cast their vote. You don't know who they are voting for. So the right thing needs to be done. I feel like, yes, 2028 will definitely come. No matter how long the day is, how longer the day is, or how shorter the night is, 2028 will definitely come where we will elect a new representative for Ghana, for Ghana as a country. So the best thing to do is support the president. As for the MPP, but I want to focus on the current administration. Support the president to fulfill his aims and his vision. You said they are going to bring 24-hour women development bank. How many of the banks have they built? Have they built
the Women's Development Bank? How is it supposed to work? Is it going to be in every district?
That is how they wanted to do it.
Hey, and they've not started building, and they'll use GN Bank.
I don't know whether they're going to collaborate with other banks or how they want to do it. But I can tell you that a lot of traders, women traders, voted for the NDC based on that. Because see, if you're going in for a loan, it comes with a whole lot of things. And then they promise them that this Women Development Bank is going to decrease the interest rate. So if you're coming in as a woman trader to the women development, so it's basically for women who are into trade. we will give you the loan with less interest, and then you can, go ahead with your business and get more profit. Now the women development bag, the Kaswan New Market they went to demolish. I heard that they want to use that place to, okay, I think that one is for a 24-hour economy
market.
They went to demolish some structure B at the Kaswan New Market. That one is for the 24-hour economy something. And the people were complaining that you want to demolish the structures because you want to build, you want to expand the market so that it can run 24 hours. But here lies the case. You've demolished the structures, and as it stands, we are not even seeing anything to motivate us that this thing will come to pass. You get it? So I feel like, see, the president is doing very well, and if the president can do it alone, he wouldn't appoint people.
Yeah, exactly.
And that is why he has the branches. So you, the branches, you're supposed to support the tree. And if the branches who are supposed to support the tree are now doing something else, you are how will I even say it? You are digging a grave of disaster. That is what you are doing. So this is not the time. Premature campaign. A lot of them are doing it. Premature campaign. And I don't know what
think they're doing it indirectly.
Yes, indirectly.
Who have you seen? Apart from Esi didn't get here. I said didn't get here. After they said thank you to producer. On your hands be now.
See, even without that, if you listen to most of ye, and I feel like the communicators of this party should also be very careful.
Yeah.
I remember, when was that? Within last 2 weeks, they released NDC brought out a press release, and they said if you go on, if you are being invited to talk on national issues, and if it is based on the party, if it's based on presidential things that has to do with the presidential things and all that, or maybe your personal likes of you becoming, and then you need to sell. You see, that is what they are lacking. Sell what the government is doing. Convince the people that, see, this is what the government is doing. He said he will build 20 factories. This is what he has done. Let the people know. That is why you are communicators for these parties. But when you go there and you are talking about yourself, you are talking about someone who you think can replace President John Dramani Mahama, you've gotten it wrong. That is what we are saying. You've gotten it wrong. Premature. Where's your country?
Yeah, so Dr. Christine is saying that those involved in that, they should put a stop to it. And we already saw a communique from the party that if the government is in power 1 year before they do their campaign, if the government is not in power 2 years before they do the campaign, and just as she said, if the president is cutting a sword for a project and you are also out there selling yourself that people should vote for you, which one should be the news? Should the president's issue of cutting a sword be the news, or you selling yourself should be the news? It's kind of a bit conflicting. So that is one thing that the NDC party need to focus on. Help the president achieve his resetting agenda. Right, let's look at our next news item. Fulfill campaign promises or lose public trust, Napo warns politician. The former New Patriotic Party vice presidential candidate Matthew Opoku Prempeh has cautioned political leaders over promises made to electorate, stressing that such commitments must be fulfilled or risk eroding public trust and political relevance. According to him, the effectiveness of government is ultimately measured by the ability to translate campaign promises into tangible improvements in the lives of citizens. Speaking at the Department of Political Science at the University of Ghana, Dr. Opoku Prempeh, popularly known as NAPO, called for greater focus on leadership, development, and governance systems that promote accountability and effective service delivery. He said, governance is to ensure that what the leaders say, they can see is executed in their lives. People who are leaders or want to be leaders, what they must say matter. He cited the implementation of the free senior high school policy. He argued that the policy's successful delivery helped sustain public confidence in the NPP government. The former energy minister stressed that leadership carries significant responsibility, particularly under Ghana's constitutional framework, which vests extensive executive authority in the presidency. Dr. Opoku Prempeh further emphasized that presidents can only succeed when supported by competent ministers and effective institutions capable of delivering on government policies and programs. He noted that national resources and governance structures are entrusted to elected leaders, making it imperative for those in office to take their responsibilities seriously. He warned that while political parties may win elections, failure to meet citizens' expectation can quickly lead to public disappointment and delusionment. Ms. Debbie, this is from Napo. It's been a while we heard from Napo. And this time around, for him to come out and say something like this is very good. Aside that, he made mention that if Dr. Baumia calls him to be the vice president, why not? He will run. He will go for it. Yeah.
He has
the interest and the ambition to become the vice president.
It's not bad.
It's
not bad to dream big. You just have to put in more effort, and that's it. So yes, he made mention that appointees should take their roles serious. They should take their roles or the position given them very serious, and I think that is a very big punch over there. That is a very big punch over there. Over the years we've witnessed people being appointed to occupy offices, and they don't do their work. We don't even see them working. You don't even know whether they exist. So let me use this for example. With the current incident of Okudzeto Ablakwa evacuating what's the name? Ghanaians from South Africa to Ghana. So someone intentionally made something like a poll since Atamel's time, who the foreign affairs minister was, Akufo-Addo's time, and then Okudzeto Ablakwa, and I think 99% of all the people was pointing to Okudzeto Ablakwa, and everyone. So I think the previous foreign affairs was Ashok. Is it no? Shelley Botchwey, and someone was like, Shelley Botchwey didn't do anything. She was just a personal PA to Akufo-Addo. So what did she do in office? You get it. So you see, sometimes when they give you a position, you might feel like, well, I've already gotten a position. Whatever I do is none of anybody's business, and you'll be a business. But a time will come where your work needs to speak for you. And when that time, I call that time the time of accountability. When that time knocks on your door, a time where you cannot even speak for yourself. Or do you know there are situations where you find yourself and you cannot even speak for yourself, but what you've done speak for you, or even people you've helped speak for you. Like at that tight corner where it's like everybody is against you. You say something and it looks as if you are the bad one, and then what you did before is speaking for you. So positively, that vindicates you. So a time will come where your office, whatever you did in that office, will speak for you. There are instances where we've seen people, even workers, were we not here in this country where workers were petitioning for the dismissal of their boss, their appointee manager? Yes. So it should tell you that the office you are occupying is not a seesaw play, a ground. Oh, it's a war. It's a war ground. I let me say it's a warfare. Yeah. You are not fighting with weapons, but you need to work. Even if you are not there, the people there should speak for you, or the work you did should speak for you. But there are some people, someone like Ken Oforiatta. Huh? Ken Oforiatta, what did he do? If Ken Oforiatta should find himself right now, if you are talking about even they did a poll on finance minister's cry, Ken Oforiatta was the least. Why won't he be the least? What could Kaho? come and account. No one will arrest you. No one will do you anything. You just come. Let's ask you question. What happened? Why are we seeing this? Why does that? Why this? National Cathedral Nadani manhole. What happened? No one will arrest you. You just come. This is your country. We are not going to sack you. No one is going to kill you. Just come in. Let's question you. And you see, like some of these things, it's funny, but it is not funny. So for me, I'm glad this is coming from Napo himself. Yeah. He has a lot to do. I think it's good. Sometimes you need to go through things to learn, and I like that.
Right, Miss Regina.
So this shouldn't even be something we need to be discussing, because when it comes to politicians, they need to make sure that they fulfill their words. Whatever you say to the people, that is what you are supposed to go according to. If you want to tell the people that, oh, when I come into power, this is what I'll do, this is that I'll do, you have to do it. But I'll say politicians are taking us for a ride. They are seeing us to be jokers, because we ourselves are not holding them accountable. We ourselves are just enabling whatever that they are doing. So with what Napo is saying, I do agree with him. Politicians need to make sure that they fulfill their words, because by so doing, you are garnering the trust of these people. And if you don't do it, they already know who they would vote for. Yeah.
Is election the only way we can hold these politicians accountable? Are there any other ways we can hold these politicians accountable?
No, that is where we have the laws.
But are they even enforced?
The laws are not being enforced. The law is just holding some people, the less privileged, accountable, and then people who we have entrusted power into their hands are being allowed to go scot-free. So election is not the only way to punish politicians. If the laws are working, the law should rather speak, but the laws are not speaking, because the laws are being silenced on some group of people and then loud on some group of people.
So partiality before the law. The law is being biased. It favors some people and it doesn't favor others as well.
Korea 5 cities on the prison.
So the law is the law, rule of law. Nobody is above the law. The law should be enforced. Everyone should be equal before the law. And coming from Napo, fulfill campaign promises or lose public trust. If you don't fulfill your campaign promises, automatically people begin to lose trust in you. And then he also made mention of citizens' expectations, that you need to meet the expectations of the citizens, and then failure to meet them will lead to public disappointment as well. When it happens like that, it makes it difficult for citizens to even believe in politicians, because they know that you are here to play with their minds again. You are here to tell them the sweet words, but when you come, you are not going to, implement it or even put action into it. So this is coming from Napo. We are hoping that in the coming days we hear such comments like this from Napo and other politicians. That should tell you that they are aware of what they are doing. Thank you so much for joining me on some relevant news stories. We'll be coming up shortly with the second segment. Please stick and stay with us. Welcome back from that break. Good morning to you, lovely listeners of GhanaTalks Radio again. Remember that you are streaming live on Facebook at GhanaTalks Radio, on YouTube at GhanaTalks Radio, and also on X at GhanaTalks Radio. This is the second segment of the morning show, and as you know it, we come along with knowledgeable guests who are going to be delving into the main topic, the topical issues we have on board. As part of the issues this morning, we have the issue of unemployment rising amid economic stability, and also government to introduce rice import quota to boost local production. These are two topical issues we'll be looking at this morning. Where my guests? All you need to do is just tag along with us on all our social media, on Facebook at GhanaTalks Radio, on YouTube at GhanaTalks Radio, and also on X at GhanaTalks Radio. Do well to join us. This morning in the studios we have Mr. Morris Donko, the NPP Communications team member, and we also have Mr. Brima, who will be joining us shortly. He is the NDC Communications team member. Good morning, Mr. Donko.
Good morning.
How are you doing?
I'm doing well. How are you?
I'm fine. It's been a while.
Yeah.
Hope all is well.
All is well.
The rain didn't disturb you.
Oh, it did.
Oh, sorry.
It actually affected how I was supposed to arrive early here.
Oh, yes.
Yeah,
I see that.
It caused a lot of traffic.
Yeah, I understand. Yeah. But the issue of flood, what do you think as a country we can do?
So, as a country, the best thing we can do is to, proper irrigation systems. Because proper drainage system.
Drainage.
Yeah, because the drainage system in this country is actually very poor. I mean, I think the president puts in place a committee with the Randiabi. Is it Randiabi as the leader for that committee on the drainage issue?
Oh, okay.
But then it turns out they've not been doing anything. You understand? So I mean, they should really put their hands on deck and then start making sure that the drainage system in this country are working properly. Yeah. Because a lot of people, yesterday, I heard a storage building collapsed due to this flood.
Yeah,
and then the market was also burnt.
On fire.
Yes. So it's really a national issue, and then I think we should be able to address it. Yeah.
Would you admit that we are part of the problem?
Yeah, Ghanaians are part of the problem, though, and I won't deny it. Ghanaians are actually part of the problem because we Ghanaians don't, have the proper channel of handling waste products. You understand? So if when you go to the market women decide to put their refuse dump anyway, which in turn what chokes the gutters. You understand? So if the Ghanaians are part of the problems, and then I think there should be proper ways of scrutinizing people who contribute to this flooding. You understand? Yeah.
Right. Joining us is Mr. Brima, would I say? Good morning, Brima.
Good morning.
How are you?
Yes, I'm fine.
I learned the rains disturbed you.
Yeah, it's true. I couldn't get the straight car usually get, so I had to do
Kona. My bad.
One car for another.
Okay, sorry about that. We are glad to have you in the studios with us. We were speaking on the flooding issue, that's what can we do as a country. Yesterday was exactly 11 years since the incident at Seko happened, the June 3rd incident, and it rained, and there was a fire outbreak as well yesterday at Tudu, and also a one-story building also collapsed at Adenta, with 3 people losing their lives and other several people injured as well.
Yeah.
That is the unfortunate incidents that happened yesterday, and yesterday also marking 11 years of the June 3rd incident. It's I don't know how to say it, but
it's a sad and beautiful coincidence. It's unfortunate that it has happened, but nonetheless, we are a religious people. Most of us are Muslims, Christians, and traditionalists. And whatever we all believe, we believe there is a supreme God, or there is a supreme being who controls everything. And so for that matter, we are also at a time where there is heavy rainfall. We are in the rainy season where rains are expected to be coming here and there. And so for the rains, it's no news. It's just about we being able to curb the flooding actually, because flooding is not a natural occurrence or natural disaster. It is something that is caused artificially, meaning the activities of man are what causes flooding. And so for that matter, that is the part where we'll have to speak to our government and stakeholders in making sure that we are able to put in measures our drainage system, our disposal of refuse as part of efforts also curb some of these things. And in every situation, in every problem too, there are responsibilities that are supposed to be performed by everyone. Once the government is doing its part, the citizenry also have a role to play. So in all, we need to, as citizens and as, let me say, a government or a stakeholder, we play our part. Because 11 years on that we were going to, assess how far we have come in terms of this during disaster. And unfortunately, it has happened. We are experiencing some of it again. Because there was flooding, there is fire, all knows those things to are very, very, bad thing to happen to everyone. So we send our condolences. I learned at the internews side too, there was also a collapse of a building.
Yeah.
It means that it's as a result of perhaps the heavy downfall and also how our structural system has also been in terms of construction, building. Perhaps whether it is on waterway, that will also be another factor. So generally, when you look at the problem, it starts from, natural, occurrence where ordinary rain will also come will fall. Then artificial also, part of it, where many of us are too stubborn to, go by the layout of our city and go to building waterways. We also, dispose of refuse in gutters where we are not supposed to dispose of. We also go about, not obeying our laws, our bylaws, in terms of, everybody safeguarding your place, making sure that where you are building, you have permits, where you are passing by, you don't also dump refuse, irresponsibly. And I remember the former president, His Excellency Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo, once said that he's not ready to pump millions into solving this flooding issue if we, the citizens, are not ready to change our attitude. And I think this, government also came in. We did some national anti-flooding operation where we got some people in the air to look at the general landscape or area of Accra and how best we can, solve this flooding issue. Because sometimes I remember just recently the Ghana-UK summit, His Excellency John Dramani Mahama claimed that even the position of Accra is a problem. How it is situated between the Atlantic Ocean and also how our the mountains. So we are in the middle of the mountains, and so for that matter, once the water that comes from the rain can no longer find its way into these Atlantic Ocean, we are in the middle. I don't know, it's going to go, but we have what we call the Ramsar sites. So the Ramsar site that absorb this kind of water to make sure that it doesn't flood our areas are places where we are now also building. So at the end of the day, we are going to bear the consequences of that. And so for that matter, once we have realized that the city itself is situated at a point where, at a place where there is going to be the unavoidable, let me say, water presence, let me put it that way, where water will ordinarily want to pass through or come by, that then leads us to a responsibility that we all have to play in making sure that we avoid some of these situations. And also when you look at the fire incident or the fire outbreak, it has also to do with a lot of factors. Probably there's some electrical issue, there's some gas stove somewhere someone has left, though we don't know the outcome, but as usual, these are some of the things that we hear: electrical problem, gas stove, and the other factor that we hear that some people intentionally do it for whatever reason as well. But we need to get to a point where we, as citizens and as Ghanaians, we kept some of these things, because I was coming and watch a video where a lady was crying profusely. I mean, of her losses, and it wouldn't be nice that all the time.
It was due to the fire outbreak.
Due to the fire outbreak. The fire outbreak actually. I learned close to the police station or something like that. Yes, so that's people's investment. Only God knows how this person is able to get money to be able to invest in getting her business running, and for that matter, for someone's irresponsible behavior in terms of bad electrical equipment, bad connection, and they do it as well. I remember someone on TV saying some of these things. I mean, when they are facing electrical fault in that slum market area, they get just anyone who calls himself an electrician who is passing by. Oh, but never from and you see some of them to try to also avoid paying electricity bills, and so for that matter they'll do illegal connection as well. And doing illegal connection to has also its consequences. Aside you not even paying the electricity bills, where you are also contributing your quota to national development, you are also going to contribute to the fire outbreak, because in case there is going to be that proper scrutiny or proper looking into it, there is an unlikely situation that it will also bring this kind of fire outbreak, because this person doing illegal connection may not even have the knowledge of electricity as in full. We cannot just so it's a broad conversation that we need to look at, where we are touching every part of the problem, from the flooding situation to the fire outbreak and to the behaviors and attitudes of we the citizenry. The government can continue to do its part. You understand? The president at the Ghana UK Summit mentioned something about this thing they used to cover this our gutter. I don't know, it gets choked with refuse
and sometimes sand.
Exactly, and they have to remove it. And in removing it and replacing it, whose responsibility is going to do it? Who is going to stand there to do it all the time?
Right.
So I think we have to look at it. But I'm very hopeful that His Excellency John Dramani Mohammed, the NDC, will be able to bring in some policies and some initiatives so that we will to care some of these. And some of them are ongoing. I mean, the building of the Ramsar site, they are making sure that people are
being demolished.
They are being demolished, so that we make way for the water to also pass and go into the Atlantic Ocean and our water bodies as well.
Right, well said. We are hoping that in the coming months, in the coming years, our leaders will bring up better policies and measures that is going to help curb flooding right here in Ghana. Because as it stands now, it's persistent and it's becoming unbecoming. Are we going to wait as a country for another tragedy to happen before we do the right thing? Right, let's get into the main issue for discussion this morning. Youth unemployment rising despite economic stability. And this statement was made by Kojo Opon Nkrumah. So, the ranking member on Parliament's Economy and Development Committee, Kojo Opon Nkrumah, has expressed concerns over rising youth unemployment in Ghana despite signs of economic stability. He cited figures indicating that youth unemployment increased from 32% in December 2024 to 32.5% in the third quarter of 2025. According to him, the situation is particularly worrying in the Greater Accra region, where youth unemployment is reported to be 49.3%. Mr. Opon Nkrumah noted that this means that nearly 1 in every 2 young people in the region may be without job, and his comment comes while responding to a statement made by the finance minister on the state of economy. This statement was made by Kojo Opon Nkrumah that our economy is stable. We are enjoying stability when it comes to our economy, but in the midst of it all, youth unemployment is still on the rise. But generally, let's look at the cause of youth unemployment. Would it be our education, the youth as an individual, or the government? Mr. Donko.
So, on the topic of youth unemployment, I mean, youth employment generally has been a problem for both political parties. I mean, any good communicator or any honest communicator will not defend the fact that youth unemployment is not a problem. it has been a problem for both NDC and then MPP. But then the question is, which of these political parties have put measures in place for it to be able to cater for most of the youth to get employment? You understand? So you asked a question that whose fault is it? Is it the government's fault or the fault of the youth? My answer is that I wouldn't per se say it's the government's fault or the youth's fault, because I mean, on the youth aspect, if there was a ready market or there was a linkage from straight university graduates to companies, it will curb this unemployment. As into the private companies or even to the government sectors. It would curb these situations, right? And also on the government side, I'll say that the government tries its best to, cater for the unemployment in the country. But then it has to do more, because Ghanaian youth are plenty. I mean, if you look at the voter registration, you see that almost 70% to 75% of the individuals there are youth. You understand?
Yeah.
So if you come into power, you are supposed to make sure that the youth are catered for. You don't necessarily go and then blame it on the youth that is the youth fault. So on this topic, it's a very broad topic, and then I would say that it's mostly we have to separate economic stability from job creation. I mean, if government has translated the stable economy, then we will say that most of the youths will be able to get job because the economy is stable. I mean, inflation is low.
As claimed.
We have a stable currency, and there's fiscal discipline. You understand? All these factors show that they should be able to employ the youth. You should be able to get work. But then this makes it look like all these things are just good on paper. They are not practical. Because if all these indicators are showing, you're supposed to feel it in your pocket. You're supposed to, be able to pay off your rent and some other stuff as a youth. You understand? So these factors of these economic indicators, I mean, are good. It helps an economy, but then it doesn't put jobs on the table of the youth. I mean, they are good indicators. Honestly, they are good indicators. Nobody would deny that the economy is performing better. But then, how does it translate into the employment of the youth?
So what do you think the government can do better to translate this, to make sure that jobs are available for the youth?
So, you see, this current government's campaign message was basically for the youth. I mean, talk of the 24-hour economy. I mean, they said it will employ about 1.7 million youths or 1.7 million Ghanaians. I mean, that was one of the reasons why most youth voted for the National Democratic Congress. You understand? And then with this 24-hour economy, you see that it's a total failure. Because with with this policy, it's not practical. I mean, how are you expecting to run a 24-hour economy in this country? I mean, back to your question, you said, how is the government supposed to
translate these into job? The economic indicators, as you mentioned.
I mean, this should be a better question for him, because he's the NDC communicator. Then he should be able to.
So is there no any recommendation the minority can also make?
I mean, the minority, you said what the question again?
How would this be translated into jobs? You mentioned that the indicators are good. How is this going to, how would this translate into jobs for the people? Because as you mentioned, you said it's just on paper.
Yeah, it's just on paper, and then economic stability doesn't put food on the table of youth.
Oh, are you sure?
Yes. I mean, if the indicators are good, youths are not working. How are they going to get salaries and wages to pay off their rent, to buy food, to pay water bill, to pay electricity bill? You understand? These indicators are good, but then government should, I think government should invest, since their indicators are low, government should focus more on the agriculture sector, because the agriculture sector can be able to employ most of the youth. Are you getting me? They can employ most of the youth with these economic indicators: low inflation, stable currency, and then fiscal discipline. When government focuses more on the agriculture sector, they will be able to, employ most of the youth instead of cutting the annual spending or the budget allocation for the agriculture sector. Understand? So my solution to this government is that they should focus more on the agriculture sector, try and push most of the youth into using their handiworks, skills to get jobs. Yeah.
Baima, where did we get it wrong? And it looks like most of the youth are coming to Accra for job, which is making life very difficult. And just as Mr. Oponkoma mentioned, he said that according to him, the situation is particularly worrying in the Greater Accra region, where youth unemployment is reported to be 49.3%. And he noted that this means nearly 1 in every 2 young people in the region may be without a job. What happened to developing the other regions and creating jobs for them?
I will be charitable with Honorable Kojopo Nkrumah this morning because it has rained. And rain brings blessings. And rain brings blessings to us. And so for that matter, I'll be very, very charitable. When did he realize that? Is it today that he realized that unemployment has risen? Weren't we here in 2016, the run-up to the 2016 elections? Honorable John Bodo on a platform, campaign plan, told us that the youth will get work so much so that we'll have to import people to come and work for.
There's going to be surplus
to come and work for Ghanaians again. What happened in the last 8 years? Why couldn't they solve the unemployment issue? Indeed, they were bastardizing us in 2016 that they had the solution to every problem in this country. One district, one factory, they said they were going to create jobs. Where are the jobs? One constituency, $1 million will open jobs for people. Where are they? One village, one dam, where is it? They promised 350 senior high schools to increase the literacy level of Ghanaians. Because when you increase people, when you let people go to school, at the end of the day, you'll be able to, have that kind of literacy level and give them some skills to be able to be on their own.
Yeah.
Where is the 350 senior high school that they promised us? So at the end of the day, when these kind of people are speaking, you wonder the kind of hypocrisy. So who were given the chance for 8 good years and they couldn't, execute it well, are the ones now pointing fingers at us. You left a messed up economy in 8 years. You expect this government to just come in and use 1.5 years to solve unemployment issue that he's talking about. We left an unemployment rate of 7% in 2016. During the living in 2020, it rose to 14%. That is the statistics on the ground. That is their scorecard. That is their record. Why? Today, I'm glad there are some people who have not accepted the fact that today there is low inflation. There is what do you call it? He speaks about economic stability. He goes to also speak about fiscal discipline. Do you know what fiscal discipline means? Today we have less than 60 ministers running in this government. Do you know the amount of money it is saving for this country for us to be able to roll out our flagship programs? You messed up that economy. And so for that matter, what you need to do is economic recovery. Yesterday in 2024, we were in a coma of an economy. Today we are still in the hospital receiving treatment. We've left the coma. We are on what do you call it? Some survival support at the moment, and we are trying to go out of the IMF that you people put us. Why did we go to IMF? It is because of your indiscipline in terms of spending, the reckless spending that you left us. You did enjoy it. You had over 120 cabinet, 120 ministers. You had over 1,000 presidential staffers who were all chopping our money. What did you think will happen to us? During the COVID, they used it as an excuse. During the COVID era, you had money. You had money from World Bank. You had money from IMF. You had money from a COVID fund that you set up
Ghanaian benevolent people donated. What happened to all those monies? You are giving it to your parliamentary candidates to go on campaign tours. So you spare us the conversation at this moment. People are benefiting from the programs that this government has rolled out. Today, we have the National Apprenticeship Program, where individuals have registered last year. They were able to go through training, and they have been given equipment, and they are working evidence-based. Those videos are there. The Minister of Youth and Empowerment, and the CEO of the National Entrepreneurship Innovative Program, lawyer Eric Ejay, they rolled out this program, train people who apply for the National Apprenticeship Program, and today they are working. We are providing people with real-time skills and equipment. When has it happened in this country that a government is giving you the equipment to go and work? We provided tailors with what they need, their sewing machine. We provided hairdressers with their hair dryer. We provided so many people with tools and equipment to work under the National Apprenticeship Program. A Juma program. Who doesn't know that we are giving out grants? We have given out grants to young people. We had over 120,000 applications and about 350,000 applications for the Juma program. We are giving people real-time, business, opportunity, and giving them the money and grants. We disbursed those grants last year. Today we have open applications for people to apply for a junior program as well. We are bringing the Students Entrepreneurship Enterprise Development Program, where students at every level, especially the tertiary level, will give us their ideas. They will receive mentorship, they will receive training, they will receive the equipment to be able to roll out their own businesses. And then the government will try to provide them with grants so that they will be able to start up. So when it comes to about solving this kind of unemployment situation, the NDC has a track record and proven track record of making sure that we solve this unemployment situation at a rate that at least everyone will be able to get their fair share of it. So at the end of the day, Honorable Kojo Mpromochi, let's spare out this kind of conversation. You came in, had the opportunity for 8 good years. You couldn't do anything. It is now that you have realized that there is high rate of unemployment. Agreeably, we agree. Not everyone will get employment.
But why are we seeing this high rate?
No, at the end of the day,
is it that schools more graduates are graduating, or businesses are being?
It is normal. You see that the kind of country we are in, where it is we have the capital Accra. When you go to Nigeria, Abuja is also having the largest population. It's normal because there is not equal distribution of development. When you go to the north, the development as compared to the south is not the same. And so for that matter, it is ordinarily even evidence that people would migrate to the cities to be able to get job opportunities and whatnot. But at the end of the day, that's why the program that have been launched by this government are nationwide programs. They are not just restricted to a particular city or a locality. They are restricted. They are all nationwide. So we have every region, and we have coordinators who are coordinating all this. We have launched our 1 million coders program, where we are going to train young people on how to do coding who are interested in the ICT system. When has it happened in this country before? That we are providing the laptop. We are not asking you to bring your laptop. The government is the one providing you with the laptop and to provide you with training, mentorship. When have you? These are real-time problem-solving issues that we are bringing. When you ask him for recommendations, what did he say? He cannot provide any because that is a scary opposition. Yesterday, I listened to Napo on a certain interview. They asked him, "If you give recommendation, what does he know that he knows that when we do the energy sector will work?" He told us that if he tells this government, what would we do? He will not come to power very soon. And so for that matter, yes, when you come and tell us, oh, he was joking, they like about me, they like joking with the country. I don't know, they come and tell us, oh, it was just a joke, and they should add laughing emojis to captions. These are the people that want to come and take over. No, please, they should go and learn their lessons. They haven't learned enough. And so for that matter, we need to get to a point where we appreciate government's efforts. Honorable Kojo Nkrumah should have told us that when they were leaving, what was the unemployment rate? When they were leaving, what was some of the things that they did to solve the unemployment issues? Do you understand? So you cannot just come and lament and be hypocritical about it. Today, he is the most loudest person that we are seeing. When he was in government, and even as information minister, I learned he refused interviews and TV interviews to even go and talk to people. But today, he's all about everywhere telling us how he knows about the economy more than any other person. Today, he's on the necks of Bank of Ghana, getting them to release fake, news about Bank of Ghana wanting to sell its headquarters. I've never seen some person who is so, that kind of so eager to be in the news and to just want to hang something on the neck of government. From gold ball losses, it didn't work. Now to Bank of Ghana selling its headquarters. No, we do not accept and will not accept it from Honorable Kojo Nkrumah. So at the end of the day, it is evident and it is clear that this NDC government is working to make sure that we are able to achieve a certain level of employment rate in this country, where the young people will be to get job offers, where the young people will be to, make sure that we are getting something going. It cannot happen at a go. Remember, we are coming into government with an economy of 8 years that was messed up and sent into IMF. There are still restrictions, but at the end of the day, we have been able to maintain physical discipline. We have been able to maintain economic stability. We are in an economic recovery level. So at the end of the day, like Honorable Haruna Idrisi said in Parliament the other time, he was saying that you need to recover first. Once you're able to recover, all things will fall in line. So we continue to urge every, Ghanaian youth that out there, make good use of the opportunities that this government is rolling out, from the National Apprenticeship Program to the Juma Rural Program to the Youth in Mining Program to the 1 million Codes Program. I don't know, they will be able to roll out some of these. And the 24-hour economy will also be rolled out very soon. 442 companies want to also roll out onto the national, the 24-hour economy, and policy. So I don't know, we have launched it. We have a secretariat, and so we'll get to the point where everybody will be able to, get something doing. We may not be able to do all at once, but for that matter, gradually we will get there.
Gradually we will get there. Mr. Donko, looking at the policies the current administration have actually put in place, he mentioned quite a number of them. Would you say that they are not addressing the issues enough?
He mentioned National Apprenticeship Program and then the Jumara Program. These are all great initiatives, you understand. But then the problem is, how many permanent jobs have this initiative created so far? Because these people, if you look at them carefully, they like announcing initiatives. How many permanent jobs
but I have given you the
has it created so far?
I have given you an equipment.
What has been their impact on the national youth unemployment rate? What has been their impact on the national youth unemployment rate? Tell me. What has the Ejumara program? How has it affected the national unemployment rate? Tell me. Because we need what? Permanent jobs for the youth. You understand? You just can't come and sit here and then announce initiatives and then just he mentioned 1 million coders. I have a friend who enrolled in this 1 million coders program. You understand? And then he said it was one of the worst life decisions he has ever made.
Why? What was the experience?
When he said there is basic coding. He's an IT person in a UCC. He said it's basic coding that they went to learn. And then after that, you're only giving certificates. There is no startup or there is no support for you after undergoing this 1 million coders program.
So it's expectance of an individual
for them
to be given
I didn't say money. I said either support.
What support do you want?
So the support should be in
what support do you want?
The support could be job opportunities for them.
What are you saying? I'm giving you a skill. I have given you a laptop. I have given you internet connectivity. I'm teaching you how to do coding. Coding, don't you know people are making money out of coding?
You mentioned the laptops and this thing. The laptops. How many people got their laptops?
How many people?
My friend didn't get a laptop.
So, but didn't he go through the training? That is the importance of the training. Is to train you to use your own resources as well. To use your own resources.
Let me listen to you.
Own resources. How many youths in this country have their own resources?
Oh God.
You talk about resources. How many youths in this country have their own resources? This Ejumara program, I will not lie, they are good initiatives, you understand? But what permanent job is it going to create? What is the projection? What is the projection when it comes to solving of the unemployment? You understand?
So you think that is not enough?
That is not enough. It's a
so
step.
It should be a permanent something rather than you getting the skill to do something on your own.
Yes.
But that is what the Jumara program is doing. They give you the skill. They
Mhm.
teach you the skill.
Mhm.
Then you do something on your own, like an entrepreneur skill.
An entrepreneurial skill, you
Yeah.
understand? And then what I'm saying, what is the projection? And how are you supposed to solve the national unemployment? What is the projection? What is the target across their years in power with this Edmora program? How are they going? Because they promised 1.7 million. How many people enrolled in that program? And how many people are going to be equipped with resources under this Edmora program? You understand? So you don't just expect me or the other people in the 1.7 million youth category who voted for you to come into power to just undergo this Edmora program, and then after they are there, you don't equip them with anything. You understand? So he should. That's basically my point. Now back to your question. You asked what again?
So I asked that. The question I asked, I think, is in relation with the point you actually made. They're looking at the policies that this current administration has brought on. Is it enough to sort out the youth unemployment we have in this country?
It's not enough, but then it's a step in the right direction. That's it.
So you are not satisfied with the?
We are not satisfied.
With the
I mean,
policy.
You see, the way they won power was actually with the youth. The youth believed that the NDC, the MPP couldn't give them.
You didn't. It's no, you couldn't.
Will you
You
shut up and let me
didn't.
talk? The MPP
Kindly, please.
couldn't.
You didn't
provide them with enough jobs. That's why it is switch power. You understand? And over 1.7 million people voted for you, and the most of them are in the youth category brackets from 25 to what I think 30 something are in the age bracket, and they voted for you. You don't just come and initiate a program and then you just leave just give a few people the opportunity. What about those who believed in the dream of the party, who believed the lies you sold to them, who believed that when you come under the 24-hour economy, 1.7 million people are going to get jobs? What are those people supposed to do? So it's a step in the right direction, but then it's not enough for us Ghanaians. We deserve better. You understand?
So would the informal job be a solution to this? As in going to such as the TVET, the technical, vocational, and entrepreneur and technical.
Yeah,
skills.
it is. You see, the TVET is actually a good something that the youth should actually consider. If government is ready to invest, find ready markets, job from straight TVET to with private companies for the youth, it would be a fantastic and great idea and curb most of the unemployment situations. I mean, no government would be able to solve the whole unemployment in this country.
Yeah,
but then
true.
we are supposed to be able to what? Provide for more of the people who voted. You understand? So this TVET initiative, I mean, plumbing, masonry, and other stuff, they are good initiatives. It's a step in the right direction if the government actually focuses on the TVET aspects, because it's a handmade job, an easy job. It doesn't require like stress for you to go through a program like that. You understand? Such as somebody who go to school for 4 years and no. The TVET program is actually like handwork skills for you to like get your own handwork, handy-made. You understand? So if the government is able to, invest and make sure that most of the youth, can get jobs under these TVETs, then it will be a fantastic and great idea. That's it.
But what do you think what's this one support you think that the youth need to secure a job?
One When you say one support, what do you mean?
One key thing that you think youth need. Could it be capital? Could it be education? Could it be the skill? Could it be a laser or an in-betweener between the company? Or could it be the private sector partnering with the government to secure jobs for lots of the youth?
So I would say is the private sector and then the government sector partnering. Because, I mean, most people complete universities and then there is no job for them. If the government is able to partner with private sectors, most of the youth will be employed. I mean, straight from university, they look at your credentials, some internships you've done over your years in school, and then they can allocate you to a private sector. You understand? So my point, where I'm coming from is that it's supposed to be a collaboration between the government and then the private sector, because you don't expect the youth to just come out fresh from university and then go and then work into a private sector, because I mean, with the private sector, even the people doing the national service, most of them don't get retained over there. After the national service, most of them don't get retained. So those people, to what will happen to them? So the best way is for the government to partner and make sure that maybe 20% or even 40% of our youth are going to be employed under every batch of university graduates with this partnership with the private sector. You understand?
Right.
Yeah.
Brahma.
Yeah. I think, you see, the job my brother is talking about, we are not just focused on white-collar jobs. So.
Exactly.
Maybe to you are thinking, if you wear a suit and a tie and go and sit down, that is job. No. It goes beyond the white-collar job that we are talking about. And so for that matter, this government believes in entrepreneurship. Hence, we have rolled out those programs that it is evident people have seen it and people are being engaged and people are participating in it. And so for that matter, you don't expect, sometimes you expect the result to just happen overnight. In this kind of economy where you have messed it up and we are in an economic recovery, it doesn't happen just over. Please also keep quiet and let me talk. So for that matter, we need to look at how, what they call sustainable these programs are going to be, because the Ojima program are going to be grants that are going to be offered. These are monies that were released to people. Do you think it is easy for government to just pick money and give it to people just like that, trusting that they are going to use it to do jobs? Do you know the Ojima program? What it does is that it is about people who have set up their businesses already. And if you're ready to employ people or apprentices to come and work for you, the government will not give you money to be able to employ these people to work under you so that they're able to establish themselves. Now, when you go to the National Apprenticeship Program, this is where the government itself has rolled out applications for people to apply. Once you apply, they are going to take you through mentorship training and set you up whatever skill you want to learn, whether it is carpentry, whether it is hairdressing, whether it is tailoring. That's what the government is going to do for you. And when you look at this program that we are also launching for the students, entrepreneurship enterprise development program, what we are seeking to do is to look at students who are already into businesses, who are doing wig making. We have girls doing wig making. We have hairdressers. People are interested. Once you are in school, what we are saying is bring your ideas. The application is open. We are ready to take you through this training, mentorship. Because if we continue to focus on white-collar jobs, about coming to graduate, then you are going to sit in an office, it is not possible. Our population is increasing. My brother talking about people working in private sectors, national service, and they should be retained and all. No. If they were retaining them, why would you get paid for people to do national service again? If people were being retained at our various workplaces, will we get people to go into national service there? The place will be choked. And so for that matter, not everyone will get the opportunity. So we need to go beyond, this kind of white-collar jobs, where we are thinking that once you have a certificate or degree, it is enough to set you up for life. No. So at the end of the day, we are looking at real-time solutions to the program. The 1 million coders program is also for people who are interested in IT system. For the end of the day, we are going to set you up, make sure we train you. Then you will now use these skills that you have acquired. There are some people, when they came, what was the MPP solution to unemployment rate? You brought in NAPCO. People have sat home, have certificates on their various educational field. They say you are going to train them 3 years again. for NAPCO, and you were paying the paltry sum of 700 Ghana cedis. When that happened, what did we see? Today, the government, as a government or a state, is still owing NAPCO. You brought in some, irrelevant policies for us to come and entertain you. We entertain you for 8 good years. NAPCO people, where are they? That was your solution to unemployment issues in this country. You did fanfare. You did clothing for them. Is that a solution to the unemployment issue you were talking about? If you had made sure that your 1 million per one constituency, $1 million per constituency, if the money had actually come, do you know how the transformation would have seen in every constituency, making sure that the youth get jobs? So please, you should spare us this kind of, jokes that people are cracking, and go and learn how to, do the opposition well, because some of these things that Honorable Kojo is bringing about, it's all propagandist, because I know there are real-time solutions that are going on, aside the economic recovery that we are going through. Do you think it is easy? Even every sector of this economy, even GhanaTalks, selling alcohol, you were making debt. You left debt in every sector of the economy. And so for that matter, we are gradually going to make sure that we solve these issues. And it's not going to be a 9-day wonder. And so for that matter, we continue to urge the Ghanaians that we should have hope and trust that this government will be able to deliver. And like I said, we are rolling out our programs. People are being, turned out to benefit this program. They are beneficiaries of this program. And so for that matter, these are government initiatives that we need to support, because we have gone beyond the time where everyone wants to be a medical doctor, a teacher, a lawyer, and whatever. Now we need to, businesses are the ones even making more money than even these white collar jobs, because at the end of the day, wig making, if you're able to wig, what they call it, know how to even make wig, we are even saving you money, because at the end of the day, you don't need to go to even a business owner or someone doing wig to be able to teach you how to do wig making. You are going to set up your own business on yourself. And so for them, these are the things that we are looking at as a government. So the MPP should spare us the kind of jokes that they are cracking. And so for that matter, we are focused and make sure that we deliver on the 4-year mandate. The Ghanaian people still have hope in us, because I don't think it is evidence based. We have a stable economy. Today the NPP is telling us do we chop economic stability. Meanwhile, your Baumia was there printing 78 lecture notes in 2016 telling us about economic recovery. Only the CD and dollar exchange rate. Dr. Baumia gave us a book of 78 pages. Today, when he came 8 years, he couldn't make good use of it. He ran away from economic conversation to digitalization. Digitalization, he has no hand in it. He didn't know how these things even came about, and he came and people made him the crown of digitalization. So for that matter, you should just forget. If you are bringing Baumia in 2028, you are bringing him anyway. But at the end of the day, you should know that these kind of things that are happening, people are feeling it. People are going through what we are bringing on board. These policy initiatives, we didn't just promise and we've left it. We are promising and we are doing it. And so for that matter, it will get to a point where every individual, the unemployment issue will also come down. Our population is increasing, but the government will continue to do its best to make sure that we ease the suffering of the people.
Prima, looking at our education system, do you think that our education system is preparing or producing individuals that are ready for the job market? Because it looks like the education system is just based on theory, and when you're going to look for a job, they say that you need 5 years experience. Meanwhile, when you go to school, they don't even do the practical aspect of the course you want to do. You go and then it's difficult for you to even apply the theory because you haven't practicalized it.
Yes, the issue has been that, you see, you cannot force people into something that they don't also like. You understand? TVET has always been there. Technical schools have always been there. But it was seen as or tagged as a failure for you to go to technical school. But today, over the years, governments have been able to introduce STEM programs. I'm on what we call science, technology, engineering, mathematics, because those are handmade in terms of practicality. And generally, too, our schools do not have the requisite, equipment, or let's say the practicals. Even as a science student, when I was in school, we were doing practicals. We lacked so many equipment for many people, so many practical tools, so many test tubes were missing. We had to share some of those things. So we need to invest in that sector if actually that is what we want to do, or that is the way we want to go. But at the end of the day, you cannot force people into what they, you see. When I was coming, I was watching a video of Professor Elsie Kaufman, the quiz mistress for NSMQ.
Yeah.
Yes. She admitted that our education indeed does not churn out people who are into practicality. They are into chew and pour issues and whatever. And she said when they went to a hospital, they asked the doctors that if the equipment are produced in Ghana here, would they use it? They said no. Because they did not even trust the Ghanaian to be able to do something good out of it. And so for that matter, we have to look at our educational system as a whole, because some people are good at chew and pour. You cannot force a person. For some of us, like, you cannot force me to go and do mathematics. I cannot do mathematics. I cannot be, you understand? I cannot go into engineering field. What I can do best is perhaps my chew and pour. And so for that matter, that is where my focus is. And so for that matter, in making sure that I also come out to get an opportunity, we need to churn out some of the opportunities in that sector. Then we look at the opportunities in those who would like to do handwork. You understand? Those who would not like to go to school. And that is why the educational program is there for those who are not able to go to national apprenticeship program, for those who are unable to go to school. And that is why we are now rolling out the seed program for those who are already in school and you have ideas to be able to churn out entrepreneurship, what do you call it, businesses. The government is willing to, give you some grants, train you, and give you some mentorship in that regard. So holistically, we need to look at it at both ends. Those who want to do handwork, there are some people who want to do handwork, there are some people that don't want it. You cannot force them. So if you are going to make everything practicable in the classroom, it's fine. But remember that you cannot force people to do what they do not want. And it's good that, and in doing all that, we need investment. If the government is able to make sure that you are able to put in more money in acquiring the practical tools, the equipment that every senior high school needs. Science students get it, general art students get it, business students. Business, you learn how to set up a business, a company, and all that. When they come, they can also use it to practicalize. The problem has been capital. People do not have the money to set up themselves. And so for that matter, we'll use the Juvenile program to give people grants. We'll train you through National Apprenticeship Program. And those in school, we are launching the seed program. The program is currently being launched. It has been launched already by the Vice President, Jenana Opoku Ajiman, and the CEO of the National Entrepreneurship Innovation Program. That's lawyer Eric J. He has launched the program. The applications has to be open. I'm encouraging every tertiary student to go on board, apply, bring your ideas. You are going to receive training, mentorship, and possibly grants to be able to set up yourself once you are in school.
Right. Mr. Donko, the individual equally has a role to play when it comes to job creation. And with the notion that if you are not wearing a white collar tie, that's not a job you are doing. So as individuals, where do we come in? Or which role are we supposed to play when it comes to job employment and unemployment?
So first of all, I would like to comment about some things you said. That the Bank of Ghana, we are creating aspirations that the Bank of Ghana building is actually going to be sold. But then it's true. We had a member of parliament sit on Onya TV and say that the Bank of Ghana.
Who is that member of
I've
parliament?
forgotten the name, but I have the video by him.
You have the video?
Yeah, if you want, I can show it to you. I posted it on my ex. We have a member of parliament say it on a broadcasting television.
Was it this year?
Yeah, it was this year. Saying that the Bank of Ghana building has to be sold. The new Bank of Ghana building, built by administration. Do you know how many people that building is going to employ? Okay. Now let me put that aside. You see, he mentioned that what are some of the things that we've done since we came to power in 8 years. NABCO, that he's criticizing here. NABCO employed about 36,000 youth, 36,000 Ghanaians. One district, one dam, employed about 160,000 youth.
One district, one dam.
One district, one factory.
Where are the factories?
Yeah, a Kumfi is there. There are numerous of them. That initiative employed.
And which district are these facilities situated?
You see, the Akumfi district. When you go to the Akumfi district, you have the Akumfi pineapple juice factory.
Yeah.
And then I think we have others, but I've forgotten. Yeah. You know, these initiatives employed about 160,000 youths. You understand? So you don't sit here and make you look like MPP in the past 8 years. It didn't do anything to solve the youth unemployment. We did something. My point is, no government can solve the total unemployment. But then we make sure that it's not just initiatives and talks, but then actual jobs are going to be created out of the initiatives. Straight. You understand? Now, back to your question. You were saying that how are the youth
what
going
role
to...
is the youth also playing? And especially, who is actually supposed to be blamed? Is it going to be education, the government, or the youth ourselves?
I think this question has been brought up already. And I said that it's going to be the government.
Wholly the government?
Not wholly, partially the government, partially the youth. You know, youths of nowadays want to, go to the white collar job. But when you go outside, most of the well-paying jobs comes from this farming, plumbing, construction, and other stuff. The youth should be ready and accept that any office, ejuma nkwan and person. I mean, when those into poetry in Ghana right now, they are making more than some of the people sitting in the doing the white collar jobs. You understand? So I won't blame government solely. I won't blame the youth solely, but I'll blame them partially. If the government had made sure that, or is making sure that the initiative they are putting in place is going to curb most of the number of people who voted for them, then I have no problem with it. You understand? Because you can't just deceive people in your own manifesto that 24-hour economy is going to employ about 1.7 million people. You understand? You don't create such aspirations, deceive the youth, and make them vote for you. When you come back into power, we create apprenticeships with no ready market or no ready private and public sector combination for jobs. You understand? So I will not blame the government solely. The government is doing it, but then the youth also have to accept that any office in Kwa Ejumana, light bills. Sometimes the handiworks also pays. So the youth of Ghana should just embrace some of these handiworks. That's it.
Right. Mr. Brima, your last words on this particular issue.
So I think that it is evident and it is very clear on which government have the Ghanaian youth at heart. So for that matter, the propaganda that our brothers through Honorable Kojo Ponkron wanted to preach has fallen flat. There is no evidence of governments not making effort in solving this unemployment issue. Those job opportunities that he is talking about, 36,000, whatever, if they were evidence enough, we would have seen it. He wouldn't be the one telling us. If I'm here to see, you should have told us the institutions where NAPCO people and we'll go and look for them. Whether it is true NAPCO that they are working. Was it permanent work? You put them attachment like NSS personnel, or they are doing their service 3 years. You couldn't even pay them. You are telling me that you gave them job. Is that what you call sustainable jobs?
3 years.
You put them there as attachments for 3 good years. What did you give to them? You couldn't even pay them 700 cedis that you were paying them until you couldn't give to the government still owes NAPCO employees. They are at home. None of them is still at their workplace. You are telling them that you have applied 36,000 people. 100 and something thousand you spoke about. That one district, one factory has employed. Where are the factories? When we ask you to mention, say Ekumfi. Apart from Ekumfi, where else again? People have used this Ekumfi on our heads. I think that's the only thing. 8 good years. You promise people one district month. Which other district do you have a functioning factory as you promised from scratch? That was built by the NPP in the NPP's administration. Tell us. You do not have any. And so for that matter, don't come and sit here and see as if people did anything better. You understand? So let us focus and be real. You see, you sit here and you tell us that, oh, there's an MP that has gone on station to say they need to sell
the headquarters of, and you say it is true. An MP has given his opinion, says they need to sell the headquarters. Bank of Ghana has come to a Bank of Ghana, the institution says that we should treat it as false information. The Bank of Ghana has come out to refuse this claim, to debunk this claim that the new headquarters is not going to be sold for whatever reason. And so for that matter, the information that you are getting that you are going to sell the headquarters, why? Is the government afraid of its people? If the government wants to sell the new headquarters of Bank of Ghana, it will go ahead and sell it anyway. Is it the NPP that will come and tell Ghanaians that I want to sell the headquarters to be news? The Bank of Ghana, you have the old one that you have left. What happened to it? Nothing. You get them and go and create another new building, and you are telling me that the people that are employed there, why can't they move to the old place and go and be working? So what are you talking about? Are we dealing with human capital, human resource, building the nation, or we are dealing with structures? What are you talking about? That building at a certain date is occupying space, isn't it? If they need to sell it for the good of this government, for me, as a person, my opinion, there's no problem. If it will going to help develop this nation, what's wrong with that? But I know they let us continue to make, false information not a thing. I mean, if you people want to do the opposition, do it well. Build it on facts and figures. Let us know that you are speaking the truth. But you can't just dwell on speculations, go and get news portals to post it that the Bank of Ghana wants to sell its new headquarters. How does that concern an ordinary Ghanaian at in the Upper West region trying to go to school? How does that concern the market? How does that concern people who are looking for jobs? They tell us that it should be news for us to discuss. Right. So please, the Bank of Ghana has refuted the claim, and it is clear, has debunked the NPP's propagandist news that it is going to sell its new headquarters. Yeah. It is not true today, it is not true tomorrow. So please let us all debunk that issue and let that propaganda go and sleep somewhere. And so for them, we are focused on the real issues. Please and please, I'm reiterating that the SEED program launched by the National Entrepreneurship Innovative Program by Honorable Eric Ejay. We have the Students Entrepreneurship Enterprise Development Program. It is meant for students, especially the tertiary level. If you have ideas, business ideas, please, the application is open. We are urging everyone to go on board and apply and part of this initiative. Take advantage of these government opportunities and policies. And so for that matter, when you are able to finish your school, you have something going. The government has you at heart, and the NDC government, under the leadership of His Excellency John Dramani Mahama, is going to make sure that we work to curb this unemployment issue through these policies. All right, thank you so much, Brahma, and thank you too for joining us on the morning show. But before we leave, your last words, gentlemen.
So, you see, the NDC government or the NDC communicator here would try his best to spin the story however he wants. But my last comment is going to be that Ghanaians should be disappointed in this government. In their manifesto, they promised that the first year 1.1 million people will be employed. And their first year is even over. How many people have been employed? They even sold their lies at the point that me and MPP communicator, I almost believed it. You understand? So Ghanaians should be disappointed in them, and then should regret voting for such a party like NDC.
Brahma.
So I would like to send my regards to the Honorable Minister for Youth and Empowerment, Honorable George Opariado, and also my regards to the Honorable Minister for Labour, Jobs and Employment, Honorable Rashid Pelpu, and also to the CEO of National Entrepreneurship Innovative Program, Honorable Eric Ejay, lawyer Eric Ejay. He's doing a very good job at that institution, being able to roll out the Ejumara program, also alongside launching this seed program for the initiative. He has been doing a very, very good job at that institution. He needs to be applauded. Recently, he even gave the youth of German North some tricycles to be able to do some work and pay. Those are the kind of leadership that we need to see, proactive leadership. And so my last regards to the incoming Deputy National Communications Officer for the NDC, Era Adams Karim. My regards to him, and we continue to urge the delegates that will be able to that will be going to vote in the national elections to vote for Era Adams Karim for Deputy National Communications Officer. Thank you.
All right, thank you so much, gentlemen. Thank you, Mr. Brahma, and thank you to Mr. Morris Donko. Thank you so much for joining us on the morning show. thank you to our lovely listeners and viewers for joining us right here on the show. We'll meet same time tomorrow. Do have a lovely day.